Is this thing on? Oh, I thought they silenced us yet. Rumble, young man, rumble. Life is a trip, so sometimes we gon' stumble. You gotta go through pain in order to become you. But once the world numbs you, you'll feel like it's only one you.
Do it better than anybody you ever seen. Do it scream from the haters. Got a nice ring to it. So excited.
Well, good evening and welcome to Texas National Bank Field at Bobby Lackey Stadium as KWES brings you Wildcat football. Tonight it is your Weslaco Wildcats taking on the Brownsville Rivera Raiders. Your Wildcats coming in with a 2-1 district record, dropping their first district game last week. The Flower Bluff played really well.
Yeah.
And at halftime, they were only down 2 scores. But that third quarter, a couple of miscues, and Flower Bluff is one of those teams that if you have any miscues, they will take advantage and they will capitalize on it, and that they did. So the game got a little ugly there, but nonetheless, Wildcats did really well, played really well, were able to move the ball really well. So I'm expecting those miscues to be taken care of, and I'm expecting them to look really sharp tonight. I am Joe Aguilar, joined by none other than Football Fred. Will bring you all the action from tonight's ball game. Fred, excited to have you here on the mic again.
Well, we're fine. This is becoming a good time here with the Wildcats. Let me tell you, I agree 100% with what you said. As a matter of fact, we'll add one thing to it as you will wait the coin toss here in a minute. But it's interesting because Coach Burgett said something very interesting about what you just said. He said, you know, we're walking out, and you said the turning point was the third quarter. He says we're walking out at halftime, during halftime, and we're walking out, and some of the fans, he says, from Flower Bluff were giving us high five. And he says, well, that's unusually strange. And you know what he says? You know what they told me? That was a great half of football. We said it during the broadcast that it would be probably the best here in a minute.
And elected to defer.
So Rivera
will receive on the south side.
All right, so Rivera will won the toss. They said no, thanks. Weslaco will get it. So just going back to what you just said, it was such an important half of football, and I think they go back to that. Coach said, if we can put a couple of those together, it'll be great. But that'll tell you they appreciated the defense that they saw, and I think tonight, I agree with you, they should be fine-tuned for this game.
Yeah, you know, you talked about the high five. You know, I was talking to the coach at Flower Bluff before the game last week, as we normally do. You know, we go out there and chit-chat with the coaches. Yeah. You know, he was talking about Weslaco East and just how physical Weslaco East is year in and year out. He goes, if that is not the most physical game that we play every year on our calendar, it's in the top 2.
Yeah.
And so that's something that Weslaco East really brings to the forefront of the opposing coaches when they've got Weslaco East coming into town. So as you heard Football Fred say, the Rivera Raiders did win the toss. They elected to defer for the second half. They will send their kicker on to kick the ball away, and their kicker is Christopher Medina. And your Wildcats are going to have a couple of guys back there. Wildcats are dressed in their black jerseys. Can't see their numbers, but I'm guessing it's Ram Carrera and Devin. It's going to be the upback Carrera on the right side. He's got it to the 25, out to the 30, breaking it outside, loses the football, and is going to go out of bounds. So the Wildcats will have the ball 1st and 10 at their own 38-yard line. And here's the starting lineup for your Weslaco East Wildcats.
Aiden Gonzalez, Diaz Rodriguez, Jolam Pineda, Rudy Villegas, David Burnias, Josiah Contreras, Joe Barrera, Jacob Zuniga, JD Sanchez, Israel Rivera, Luben Garcia.
Mental health and well-being begins with Dr. Daniel Lozano, former athlete and proud alum of Weslaco ISD.
Good return for your Wildcats. They've got good field position, 1st and 10 at their own 38-yard line. Gonzalez in the pistol formation. Quick pass to the outside to the running back, and that is none other than Elias Rodriguez. Having a really good year this year.
Excellent year. I agree. Watch this. I think East is going to try to do this tonight. get the ball out there. It's an extension of the run. It's a little bit of a pass, but as you come up here, you'll see it on the next play. Rivera is going to try to put a lot of numbers inside the box. They know Weslaco East wants to run the ball. No surprise there. Now, how they defend it, we'll see here. But the first play, a nice little quick pass for the Wildcats.
Yeah, and Rodriguez on the year has 562 yards rushing. He's
nice.
just behind Jay Herrera with 586. So very balanced in their running are the Wildcats. And again, this time it's a handoff to Rodriguez, and he is hit hard by the linebacker who comes up really quick, Nathan Eguya.
Yeah, you're going to see him quite a bit. As a matter of fact, a lot of these players are going to be multi-purpose players. What does that mean? You're going to see him on offense and defense. He's one of those guys. Key guys is Eguya, just a senior linebacker. Will play running back at times, so that tells you how fast and how athletic he is. But yeah, watch him. He's going to be a problem all night. The Wildcats are going to have to look out for him where he's at and try to put a man on him, put a helmet on him to open up the run here.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to be putting him in at defensive end, so we'll keep an eye out for him. Two receivers at the top of your screen, one back in the backfield. The Wildcats are going to hand the ball off again to Rodriguez. He's going to lower his head, and he's going to get across midfield to the 45 to the 44-yard line. Good play there by the Wildcats as they pick up a few yards to the 44-yard line, making it 3rd down and 4.
Yeah, watch it here. Physical. We talked about it in the beginning. You have to be physical with the Wildcats when they're running at you because they are going to be physical. You see it there. Again, we talked to Coach Johnny Garza about it. I'll let you know what he mentioned just a little bit about that physicality that the East Wildcats bring.
Little offside set on the formation. They got two running backs on the right side of the quarterback, Gonzalez, and they're going to call a quick timeout. Coach Burgett is, and as you heard the referee, that is the first timeout. Something he did not like there in the formation, so calls them back. And Coach Burgett always brings out something different.
Yeah, we've done before, and we've known this already. This is his last homecoming. Asked him about that. He didn't know exactly what to say. He's a coach, right? And he's never a big fan of distractions at him.
Right, that is.
And this is the biggest one all year, right? It's the homecoming. It's a great festivity. Don't get me wrong, for everybody involved. But for any coach you ask, they'll tell you, right? We want to get halftime. We want to fix things, and I think that we're going to have our guys out there. But he says, you know what? At the end, he thought about it. He says, it's the last one. Yeah. So I'm going to look into it. I'm going to enjoy it. There's Coach Burgett talking to the guys in black. So, yeah, you got to take in every moment that you can. On the other side is interesting because Coach Johnny Garza, first-year coach. See, on the one hand, you have a coach, 20-year coaching, and then you have Coach Johnny Garza, who is his first year. We'll talk about him a little bit more and what he had to say about the Wildcats.
So after the timeout, the Wildcats back on the field, 3rd down and 4 from the Raider 44-yard line. This time they'll flop the formation. They're going to toss it to the tailback, Jay Herrera. He's going to cut it upfield, staying on his feet, but he may have stepped out of bounds about the 41-yard line. From up here, it looked like that, but it's kind of hard to tell. We'll see where they spot it.
Yeah, they're just up less than a yard. You're watch him kind of come in here and just stepped out just a second before. This is interesting. Ball right close to the 40-yard line. You've got a 4th and 1. What are you thinking, Coach? Well, what we're thinking is they're just going to run it right up the middle. They're going to give it to Elias Rodriguez, and he's just going to get 3 yards. No, they're going to do the little tush push, and they're going to send Aiden Gonzalez over the 40-yard line for the first down. Yeah, that seems to work, right? I mean, you have Gonzalez who can move, and then you have 3 or 4 guys that'll push you right in the back. That's called the tush push. Yeah, that's where they get you, and then push you in, and first down, if anything, keeps the drive alive.
It does. So it's 1st and 10 for the Wildcats. They'll spot the ball just inside the 40-yard line. 39 is what I meant to say. So it's at the 39-yard line. Under center is Gonzalez. He's going to toss it to the tailback. He doesn't get a firm grasp of it, but is able to pick it up, and he's going to lose 3 yards on that play.
You got to be careful with that. Yeah, watch this toss. I'm not 100% sure if he just took his eyes off of it. We'll see on the there. Yeah, just kind of looking ahead a little bit. Sometimes you got to wait. Maybe the ball is just a little bit instead of the inside of your hand on the outside of your hand, that kind of thing. But yeah, that could have been all sorts of a disaster for the Wildcats. Good thing Rodriguez was jumped on it as soon as possible.
So they will lose 3 yards on that play, bringing up a 2nd down and 13 for the Wildcats. We are in the first quarter, 8:05, clock is ticking. First possession of the night for your Wildcats. They'll send 3 receivers to the bottom of your screen, 1 to the top. They'll run that little quick fly out to Rodriguez. This is the play that they opened up the game with, and he steps out of bounds quickly after only about a 2-yard gain. So his momentum just carried him out of bounds.
And that might be there all night until they adjust. The Raiders do. They're, again, bringing a lot of guys in the middle because they want to stop the run. So therefore, if you throw the ball either left or right, as you can see towards the 40, you're going to have a little bit more space because everybody's in the middle, and this is what they're trying to do.
There's Jay Herrera's dad.
There you go.
Family there watching his son play.
That helmet might fit my head. Maybe.
You talk about that pass, that's just really an extended run.
Yeah.
So they'll flip the formation to the right, and Gonzalez rolls out to the right. He's going deep in the direction of Rudy Villegas, but there were 2 white jerseys on top of him.
I don't think he wanted to go there. I think he kind of was trying to throw it away at one point. Nothing really developed there downfield. Good coverage by the Raiders. You just try to throw it out there, and he saw 2. You're right. There was 2 guys out there.
Yeah, there's 2 guys on him, and as you mentioned, he didn't want to really go out there, and that's why I said the intended target, because he just threw it basically away. And it'll bring up a 4th down and 11, and the Wildcats do send out their punt unit. Nobody back for the Raiders.
They had to get somebody off the field here, and finally the Raiders do.
Good snap. Contreras with the punt. And it goes out of bounds at about the 16-yard line. We'll see where they spot it, 17-yard line.
That's
so a good punt by Contreras. It makes things difficult because, if you get one of those end-over-end punts, if you don't get there if you don't get there fast enough, that thing will go into the end zone.
Yeah, you're right. I thought it had gone out further, but for whatever reason, it's not. But I thought it just went further than that. I guess my eyesight is failing already with everything else, basically. But
they send a freshman quarterback. We were talking about that before the game, you and I. It's going to be the freshman quarterback, Gilbert Cantu. Gilly is what they call him. Yeah. And he'll come up with a quick pass, and it's going to be a little bubble pass, a bubble screen out to Leandro Alatorre. Yeah. And so they're going to put pressure on this young freshman.
So one thing we do know is that we don't know exactly what they're going to do with their offense. What do I mean? In talking to Coach Garza, he said, look, it's by committee, right? He says, look, obviously their starting quarterback in the games before was Ivan Rodriguez, number 4.
Who's coming out on the field right now.
You see him there. But you're right. We were on during warm-ups. Gilly, Cantu, number 14, was taking us some snaps. And now, watch this.
They're not. They're going to put the backup quarterback, Alejandro Garza, in at quarterback. And they'll send the starting quarterback in motion. The quarterback's going to keep it, and he's under pressure. Padilla is back there, and he's going to sack him.
They were trying to be tricky Raiders. Looks like they wanted to come back and set up a delayed screen of some sort. But you're right. Man, that Padilla and a bunch of other guys in black were there to slow that down. Big loss.
Yeah, they'll send them back to the 10-yard line where it's going to be 3rd down and 17.
So they're going to keep us on our toes all night, Joe. With this coming back in and forth, you're going to see you have basically 3 quarterbacks, and we might see all of them before the night is over. And I just, watch this. They go back to another guy who's going to try.
It's going to be Arturo Cuellar back in at quarterback.
Now, these guys have played before, so it's not like they haven't done it.
He's going to roll out to his right, gets rid of the ball, and it's short in the direction of Alejandro Garza. And he's one of those guys that's going to run with the ball or catch the ball.
Right.
He plays all kinds of different positions. Garza does. Yeah. He's one of their go-to guys.
Yeah, they definitely want to give him the ball somewhere. They're going to find it. The pass was not there, but before just talking here, it's 4th down already.
Yeah, 3 and out. Good job by the defense of the Wildcats to create that. One guy back deep for your Wildcats. He's lined up at about the 45-yard line. Good snap. Punter just kind of stood there for a second. And the punt's a little wobbly, but it takes a Rivera bounce, goes back to the 45, 47, 48, 49, and that's where they're going to down it. So 1st and 10, once again, your Wildcats with the ball for the 2nd time tonight. And they'll start on their own on the Raider side of the football field at the 49-yard line.
Look at all those folks in black and silver. Isn't that cool? Yeah, it's a Friday night, and it's a big one, right? It's homecoming. Lots of classes coming in to celebrate the reunions, just family coming in, that kind of stuff. A lot of the kids in the school district were off tonight
They
or
were,
today.
yeah.
No wonder the parents are not so happy, but the teachers are like, yes!
All full of energy.
Yeah, that's it.
Pistol formation for your Wildcats. They're going to send Herrera in motion. They'll give him the ball. He bounces it outside, cuts it back inside, and he's only going to pick up 2 yards as that defense really shut in on him, and it started off with Luis Perez.
He just was looking for something. I mean, at this point, he's just trying to grab anything he could find, and you're right, just kind of stumbles back inside. And then, one thing about him, again, is his power. Not the biggest guy, 22, as you can see him there, but boy, look at him. He carries a couple of Raiders with him, so he's got some strong power there when he runs as well. Not all speed all the time. He's got some powerful legs that he can use as well.
So they're going to give him 3 yards, and it'll bring up a 2nd down and 7. Ball is at the 46-yard line. They got to get to the 39. Same formation for your Wildcats. Snap. Quarterback keeper. He's hit behind the line of scrimmage, breaks the tackle, bounces outside inside the 40, 35 to the 33-yard line. And it's not until Gerardo Francisco is able to wrap him up and bring him down, but some very good running. What great vision there from the quarterback, Gonzalez.
And that's something that you cannot teach. What are we talking about? Watch him here. He understands that he's got to go out, and then watch him what he does here. I got to cut it back inside, and I got to wait for my blockers. See, those are the kind of things, you call it a football IQ. You got to be able to understand what's happening in front of you, but first down for the Wildcats.
1st and 10, ball at the 32-yard line. 3 receivers down at the bottom of your screen. Rodriguez in the backfield with Gonzalez. Gonzalez going to keep it again, and he's going to run into 2 Raiders at the 30, and they bring them down. And that is, again, Francisco along with Isaac Loredo.
Yeah, those 2 linebackers are quite active, and you can see them moving to the ball. As a matter of fact, watch it here. Quarterback keeper, we asked Coach Garza, what do we have to do to slow them down? He goes, we got to get to the football. We got to tackle, because sometimes, he says, we can over-pursue. We just got to be patient and make those tackles. That was, he felt, Coach Garza, the head coach for the Rivera Raiders, said, look, we've got to do that. We've got to get to the ball, find the ball, and then tackle. And so right now, but some nice gains being put up here by the Wildcats.
2nd down and 8 for your Wildcats. Hand off to Rodriguez. He's got some running room outside. 25 to the 21-yard line. That's going to move the chains for your Wildcats. So once again, they are facing a 1st and 10.
Yeah, that's a nice pickup. Watch it on the replay. This is a really talented running back. We mentioned, or do you see that, those moves? We talk about how you've got to be able to have that. If you don't have that, well, then you're just not going to get the ball, in the backfield. You're going to play another spot. You see the talent. And the quarterback has already shown it, Gonzalez. Now Rodriguez is showing a little bit of his vision.
Pistol formation, Rodriguez in the backfield. Again, handoff to Rodriguez, and there was a little trip up. I'm not sure if he stepped on the quarterback's foot, because Aiden came out there limping.
Yeah, sometimes that, and then there's such a thing as the turf monster. Watch the turf monster get him, come up, and then see, just popped up. It's turf monster. It just happens every now and then. Yeah, that's the only thing you could make that makes sense right in football. And then everybody says, oh, it's turf monster. Oh, yeah, that's what it was. You trip over the turf.
When I played back in the Stone Age, Coach Vela used to come and grab a piece of grass and pick it up and say, this is what knocked you down.
This is what knocked you down. That's it. That's all it took, Coach. Okay. Yeah, no, I get you. It happens.
Loss of 2 brings up a 2nd down and 12. Again, it is to Rodriguez. It's time to the right field. He's got some room. He bounces outside. He's inside the 10. He's looking for the pylon, and he's going to finally be stopped by Javier Lopez. But again, you're talking about those skills that you are born with, that that it's hard to coach.
Yeah.
You just have it or you don't. And Rodriguez has it. He was able to bounce that out and bring it inside the red zone, inside the 10, down to the 2, where it's 1st and goal for your Wildcats.
Now, coaches will tell you, yeah, we taught him exactly what he did. It's exactly what we wanted him to do. Watch it here. You just have to feel. And look at the stiff arm to put a Raider down and then continue running and then put your head down. Yeah, that's all gifts, my friend. That's all gifts.
So good run there by Rodriguez, but good blocking there on the right side of the line. It begins with the right guard, Orlando Salinas, and the right tackle, Joe Barrera.
Personal foul. Number 0, unnecessary roughness. Personal foul. Number 9, White, unnecessary roughness. Penalties offset. We got first down. Weslaco.
That's a lot of explanation for really nothing. Nothing's going to happen.
Yeah. They got to shorten up those messages, right? Yeah, can you just say, hey, both teams did a boo-boo. Didn't work, so now we're going to do this all over again.
Yeah.
Let's go. That's it.
So those nullify each other. Let's just put it down at the 3-yard line and go. First and goal for your Wildcats. Rodriguez and Herrera in the backfield. It's going to be Gonzalez under center. They're going to hand it off to Rodriguez, and he's going to get in there for a Wildcat touchdown. Again, we talked about that right side. The center, Jacob Zuniga, the guard, Orlando Salinas, and the tackle, Joe Barrera, just creating enough space for Rodriguez to get in there for the touchdown.
Watch, I don't think he gets touched. Watch this, not at all. Nobody touches him. Yeah, the only thing that touched him was the football when it was given to him by the quarterback. Big touchdown.
That's his third rushing touchdown of the year.
Impressive.
Alejo's on for the extra point. The snap, the hold, the kick is up, and it is good. I'm so glad he got his chipotle chicken today.
That's right. He needed that. Watch this replay. Again, not touched. This is the offensive line. You got to give the offensive line. Now this was a long drive. Everybody just seemed tired after it. And that's what happens. Everybody's going backwards. There's big gaps in the middle, and so that's just a lot of work that's being put in the previous plays to get there. And you saw at the end what happened. Big touchdown for the Wildcats. Very, very nicely done. Time-consuming. Gets the defense tired. All the positive things that come when you're trying to put a drive together. That was it right there. Nice job.
Yeah, beautifully done. We call those just Wildcat football.
That's it.
They love to just ground and pound the ball down the field, and we see that week in and week out with your Wildcats.
And the physicality. Let's go back to what we were talking earlier. You mentioned exactly physicality. It's hard to try to stop a team that continues pushing you backwards and keeps hitting you over and over when you're trying to tackle somebody else. That's just hard to do, and you do it for a while, even harder.
Fair catch called and made at the 30-yard line. Good job there by the Raiders as your Wildcats, Christian Hernandez just pooched it up there. That was Jorge Garcia. I'm sorry, not Jorge Garcia, but rather Yael Paneagua with the fair catch.
So I wonder if the Raiders are going to continue to experiment, or they're just going to go with what got you.
Well, it looks like they got the freshman back out on the field.
Okay, all right, so that continues. Remember, they're trying to figure certain things out, and the coach was very clear about it, where they were going to try to do different things.
So it is the freshman, the quarterback, Gilbert Cantu. And he's going to hand the ball off quickly to the running back, Gabriel Gonzalez. And he's going to push forward for about 2 yards to the 33-yard line. We'll see where they spot it. I see one guy at the 33 and one guy at the 34. So they will spot it at the 33. So it's a 2-yard gain for Gonzalez.
This is what I thought we would see more of, right? The running attack. He came from San Benito, and a lot of the coaches, we're talking about Coach Garza, the head coach there for him. He brought his offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator from San Benito. So the type of a style that they play on offense, it kind of reminds you of what San Benito does, where they open you up. Your quarterback wants to run, he can throw a little bit. You'll see if that continues.
A lot of movement there on both sides, so not sure if the Wildcats penetrated the neutral zone or if there was
start.
Yeah, there was
on
motion.
The offense, number 65.
You talk about San Benito, but San Benito also had that young man Garcia last year.
Yeah, they had some players that fit the scheme that they want to do.
Second down.
One of the things that Coach Garza mentioned, we're talking about the Rivera head coach, head man there, first time. He said, one of the things that he says, we understand that we didn't have he got here in June. He says he got into this program in June and didn't have a program to help. He says, I felt we were a little behind, but we're working through it. But you can see some of the kinks are still kind of there with this offense.
They move it back after Penny, second down and 12. Bubble screen to the top of your screen. It is caught by Alejandro Garza. We were talking about him earlier and how they like to get the ball into his hands. And that time they did, and they only got 4 yards. So it'll bring up a third down and 11. Difficult for an offense, regardless of who you are, when
Yeah.
you're having to play from behind the chains.
Yeah, it's tough, you know, and you see it out there. You have been mentioning number one there, Garza. He is their player that they would like to get the ball to, whether it be tossing it to him, maybe in the backfield. Now, it's interesting because the coach said, you know, one of the things, he's not the biggest guy. As a matter of fact, when I first met him, he says I thought he wasn't on varsity. I thought he was one of those JV players, but he came in here and he started talking, and we got some movement again. And coach was impressed with.
We got a timeout called on the field by Rivera with
First
3
timeout of the
seconds
first half.
left in the first half. I mean, first quarter. I'm sorry, 20 seconds left in the first quarter. That was the play clock that was running down to 3 seconds. That's why they called the timeout. You know, you were mentioning, Fred.
Yeah. No, the size of that young man for the Rivera Raiders. Obviously, they're the Raiders right there. You can see them there. The coaches are a couple of coaches that are coming in from San Benito. We mentioned offensive coordinator. That was Coach Medrano. You see him talking to the offense there. He's got the ball kept backwards. he's the offensive coach. And then you'll see if we can find coach in a minute, Coach Garza. But he was really impressed with this Wildcat team. He says, "Look, I've known Coach for years. Coach Burgett on the other side." I said, "How do you feel coming in now? His final game, and it's your first game." He said, I feel like, I don't know. He says, I've faced him before, Donna, and he mentioned a bunch of other places he's been at. He says, I just don't know exactly what to do. He says, the only thing I would like to do is hopefully he doesn't, I don't want to spoil his homecoming. I said, well, I don't think you're going to be thinking about it. I think you want to go ahead and win and try to win anyway. He goes, well, we're going to try. And so, yeah, that's Coach Garza, the first-year man for Rivera Raiders.
Well, they're sticking with the freshman. He's getting rid of the ball, and it's caught. So he's got his first completion of his career, and it's out there into the hands of the starting quarterback, Ivan Rodriguez.
Yeah, so you're starting to see a bit of a change here. Remember, this is just a young freshman. And first best of his career, we're going to remember it forever. It depends on what he does here at Rivera. But yeah, they have different guys in different spots. You get the feeling, again, they're starting to figure things out. They're doing things differently in practice.
Quarter.
And that'll be the end of the first.
That's the end of the first quarter. Your Wildcats up 7-0. We'll be right back. Well, we've played 12 minutes of football here at Texas National Bank Field at Bobby Lackey Stadium. It's your Wildcats up 7-0. Rivera with the football on this second time they've had the ball tonight. They have picked up a first down, and the quarterback is keeping, and that's going to be a lateral.
Yeah.
And a good job there. We were talking about his first game as a quarterback, and this is the first time he actually dresses as a varsity football player.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, we were talking before the game started. You'll see him here. It's a nice little play here. Watch Gilly here. Coming over, he says, I'm going to throw it back to you. You go run with it. Yeah, it's first time that he comes in as a freshman. He's never played for varsity, dresses up. Coach said, as a matter of fact, we were talking about other players. He says, hey, yeah, number 14. I said, wait a minute, why are you bringing him out? Now we know why, right? But yeah, he wanted to make sure this is his first time out here, and he was proud of what he was able to accomplish so far. Well, a little glimpse here of this young man. We'll see what he does.
Second down and about 2 for the Raiders. Hand off to the running back, and he's going to get the yardage that he needs for the first down. That's Jorge Garcia.
Yeah, so they're now spreading you out. 2 receivers are going to be to the left, 2 to the right in that play. And then they kind of decided what they want to do. They want to run the ball here. They do. As mentioned, nice little run there by Garcia. Junior running back for the Raiders. So nice minimal game, but we'll see how they kind of come up to get a first down, which was key, and I think that's what they wanted to do. But it just becomes interesting. You just don't see this day and age. You'll see him every now and then. Now, you'll see him with some special players. If you go back, you look into history, you look at players that have been freshmen when they first played, well, they become superstars eventually.
This time they've got a different running back in the backfield, and that's Gabriel Gonzalez. And he's going to pick up a couple of yards. He's going to get maybe 2. We'll see where they spot it. No, they're going to give him about 4.
They felt, the Raiders and the staff, the coaches, that their best running back is that young man, Gabriel Gonzalez. He's a senior. He's one of those guys that comes back. He says he can play defense, he can play offense, and he's one of that senior class that he's really relying. Coach Garza's really relying to kind of lead them into this competitive district games that they're doing. So, yeah, that's something to watch and see if they continue giving him the ball.
Well, they'll send 3 receivers to the top of your screen, and they're going to quick bubble screen to the backup quarterback. We've been talking about how many different guys have been behind center this year, and that's going to be Arturo Cuellar, and he's going to pick up a good chunk of yards down inside the red zone. No, he stepped out of bounds at the 23. So they're going to give it first and 10, though.
Right. So either you play quarterback or you go play receiver at this point, or running back. If you're on this offense for the Raiders, trying to find something that clicks here, right? See if they continue.
Because the guys that have been catching the ball from the quarterback, Gilly, that's going to be a flag on the Raiders, have been their other true quarterbacks.
Yes.
You know,
yeah.
Ivan Rodriguez and Arturo Cuellar.
False start.
Because the guy they tried to get the ball to a couple of times, Alejandro Garza, I think he's only got 1 reception. I don't have the stats in front of me, but there have been a couple of incomplete attempts to his direction.
Yeah, so they're using different players now. Now we're into the season where you now kind of have an idea what you have and what you want to do with as an offense. On defense, well, you have a bunch of seniors that we just kind of plugged in there from last year that we're still, we're playing on this team last year. But right now, this offense, you can see basically transforming itself into something, at least early on with their quarterback and some of their playmakers are out there.
2 receivers to each side of the football. Quarterback Gilly is back there in the pistol formation. They'll send Cuellar in motion. They're going to hand the ball off. And what a spin move by Gabriel Gonzalez to just keep moving. And that's one of the things you do as a running back is you want to keep your feet moving.
So trying to keep this Wildcat defense, kind of off balance a little bit. Some passes that have been thrown. You've got guys that are not supposed to be playing quarterback, playing wide receiver. You have a new young quarterback in there. And if you go back, folks, this is the thing. You go back and you watch a video or, whatever it is that people watch now, you're not going to see number 14 in any of their games, any of their highlights, anything like that. That's where it's such a big thing. He never dressed in a varsity uniform before.
Quick handoff to the running back, and this time they're going to get down inside the 15, and that's Jorge Garcia, with the run for the Raiders. And it's 1st and 10 Raiders, ball at the Wildcat 13-yard line.
Starting to get momentum with this running game. Again, using different players. There's something that you kind of understand that when you're playing, every player has a different set of traits that they bring in. And I think that the offense, at least the coaches are kind of trying to figure out here with Rivera on what to do and where to go with the hot man, the hot guy who's got things going here.
Again, the Garcia, the Garcia, the running back, and he's brought down. A little confusion out there by the lineman, Gael Payan. And I was about to mention him that they've been running behind Payan and Salas, but on that situation, he really didn't even move. So not sure if there was confusion on the snap count or what.
Now, Robert Oviedo had to come up and make a tackle. If not, that was going to be nothing there. No black jerseys. Good thing Oviedo was there and made a tackle.
So the Raiders are going to send 3 receivers to the bottom of your screen. Pistol formation once again for the quarterback. He's going to keep it, run to the right side, and he is upended coming out of his corner position. That is Devin Reyna, and he just makes a great open field tackle, because if not, Gilly could be running into the end zone.
Now they're just throwing you all sorts of things. Watch this. RPO action all of a sudden. All of a sudden they keep it with Gilly, the quarterback. He comes up and is upended on a nice tackle there. Reyna on a tackle for the Wildcats. You just get the sense, the feeling they're trying different things out, and the Wildcats are like, wait a minute.
We didn't see film this.
Yeah, we didn't see this quite exactly going on. Who's 14 back there all of a sudden?
So in motion is Rodriguez, and they're going to hand the ball off to Garcia. And he's going to get to the line of scrimmage, and that's about it. A good job there by the linebacker crew of your Wildcats. and Derek Salinas in the mix of things, along with Dominic Rincon.
This is a young offensive line. We were talking to Coach about it here. They're working, also work in progress. And he was a little concerned about going on against this defense for Weslaco East. He understood the Coach got us and said, look, man, these guys are tough to get around. We have a young offensive line that hasn't, exactly what we want to do. They're playing well, and they're starting to play like a unit. We just need to get some put together. And now that's a big fourth down, right?
Yeah, they moved the ball well down the field, and they got inside the red zone. And now they've got a big decision to make here with fourth down and about 4 yards to go. And they call a timeout.
And I was thinking, they had a package, Mike Gonzalez and Carlos Robledo before, the pregame, and they picked their favorite moments for Weslaco East and of what the Wildcats have done. Then going back on some of these videos, I'm talking years ago, but it tells you the career, right? Just certain highlights. It's just not, of what has happened with Coach Brigade. And, again, one of the things I'll never forget, he'll always mention, all these halftimes, all these celebrations, and he says it's great for the parents, for us as coaches. We're just struggling sometimes to get back to normal, whatever normal might be, But I think it's all said and done. He might miss this. I really do. I think when he takes some time off and he kind of thinks about it, he's going to remember. Hey, I remember all the times, and it's just good memories that he's had over the years. And I just think he's starting to slow down to see things. Just let me enjoy what's happening in front of me. It's a nice time here at Lackey.
So the Raiders are going to go for it.
Yeah.
Gonzalez in the backfield with Cantu, the quarterback. Fakes the handoff, and it's knocked out of direction. A good job there by the Wildcats to bat away the pass. They were trying to do a quick tight end dump is what really they wanted to do, just right there in the middle. But the Wildcats able to get their hands up there, and that looked to be like Nehemias Munoz, who was able to knock that one away.
Yeah, we were talking about him during the pregame on how we felt that he might have. He did had a fantastic game against the Hornets last week.
Right.
He was one of these outstanding players, and tonight, there you go, big play, puts up the Wildcat paw and hoists it, rises him down. There you go, big first down back now for the Wildcats.
Need to make sure they didn't slice the bladder on that football.
You got to check it. You got to check it. Those claws can be pretty sharp.
Gonzalez under center, quick handoff to Rodriguez. Rodriguez almost able to break that one wide open.
Ew.
If it weren't for the Brendan Guerra, who came in and just swapped his leg away from him.
Yeah, that was a lot of green. Watch it here, exactly what you're talking about, Joe, right there. He doesn't get that. Everybody's chasing. Yeah, that was a big tackle. He had to come in and make it. Good tackle.
So a 3-yard pickup, second down and 7 for your Wildcats. Burnias in the backfield with Rodriguez. Gonzalez looks like he's calling his own numbers what he's going to do. And he's just going to go up there and run and move that pile to about the 15-yard line. And it'll bring up a third down and a long 3 or a short 2, depends on where they spot it.
Yeah, that quarterback sneak for years has been on the... It's probably in the top 5 of Coach Brigette's sheet that he carries. I tell him, he'll ask for the play sheet every now and then. He'll call one of the coaches, or somebody will have it, or his son Bo will have it. And he'll call, Bo, get me my play sheet over here real quick. I told him, kidding around, I said, it's got to be in the top 5 for sure. And he just looks at it and he says, yeah, more than likely. So successful,
Handoff to Rodriguez. He's got some room right there behind the right side of that line, and it gets out to about the 21-yard line before he is brought down. So good, strong running there by Elias Rodriguez. He's been a workhorse tonight.
Yeah, Haven Lopez, the senior linebacker. Now, there's a flag. There was some extracurricular activity afterwards.
Yeah, down here by the sideline, and they did throw that flag out there, so we'll see what the referee says once he's got all the numbers with him.
After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 2 on the defense. 15 yards will be added to the end of the run, first down.
Well, we had one before, and it was offset. Both teams were told, stop it, guys. On this one went solely to the Raiders, and that's a big chunk of yardage Weslaco East needed a little bit of help here, trying to continue with this drive, and they just got it.
Yeah, they did get the first down, but they added 15 more to that, so it'll be 1st and 10 from the 37-yard line. 5:03 to go here in the first half. Game moving along rather quickly. Gonzalez doing something at the line, and now we're going to go back 5 yards.
You know what I think happened? I think he lost his mouthpiece.
On the offense, number 2, 5-yard penalty.
I think he lost his mouthpiece. It doesn't happen all the time, but I think, you know how you wear a mouthpiece to try to. I just think he lost it, and when he was, you know, when you're a quarterback, say you're barking the signals, right? Because you're being so loud, and sometimes that happens. You're screaming, and you lose your. He has it on his hand, as a matter of fact. You see it there. So more than likely, he just fumbled it around. He was trying to put it back in there, and that threw the timing off of the play, and they kind of really got things going. So we're going to blame the mouthpiece.
Yeah, he needs to get one that's on a strap.
What's on the, yeah, it's got a strap on there on your
face
helmet,
mask,
face mask, yeah.
So 1st and 15 for your Wildcats, change up formation. But again, they're just going to give it to Rodriguez. And Rodriguez changing directions, and he's going to get out to the 35-yard line. Gain of only 3.
Not a lot of yards picked up on that one, but they're trying to pick up some of that yardage back. And why not get something positive, nice yards, puts his head down and then does the damage and getting a few positive yards here for the Wildcats.
Yeah, Nathan Uguia, the linebacker, comes up and just closes that hole as Rodriguez tries to change direction. They're going to spot it at the 34-yard line, so they're only going to give him a couple of yards. So 2nd down and 13. Pistol formation, I right. And Gonzalez is going to keep it. He's going to run across the 40, spin to the 43-yard line. So good, tough little running there for Gonzalez. Pick up of about 6 yards on that one, and it'll be a 3rd and about 4.
Said this before when he runs. Besides being quick, he waits for his blockers to develop. And he understands, look, I've got to make sure that my guys are in front of me and they're doing their job. Then I can really thank them by being a big play. And he does there on that one. His patience when he runs, besides taking off, being patient is a key with him.
So 3rd down and about 5 for your Wildcats. Same formation. They're going to toss it to Rodriguez. And there was a blitz there. They smelled that one all the way. And that was Brandon Guerra, who comes up in a cornerback blitz and takes it back all the way to the original line of scrimmage to the 37-yard line, where it's going to be 4th and 10.
Yeah, that running blitz, they decided to do it and figured, hey, they're going to try to run on us. Let's give them more guys that they can block. So basically, that's the play. If you have 5 guys blocking, we'll give you 6. 7 guys to try to outnumber you at the line. And so far, that works. 4th down for the Wildcats.
So they shut the Wildcats down on this drive, forcing them to punt. And it's going to be back deep for the Raiders, Ivan Rodriguez.
Well, that was close.
That goes out of bounds from the punt of Contreras. And it'll be 1st and 10 for the Raiders at their own 38-yard line with 2:10 to go here in the first half.
Joe, I must tell you, this is a first for me today, this evening, as walking around and just kind of coming up here. I saw one of the biggest mums.
Oh.
It was the size of a person, literally the size of a person. This young lady was walking, and it was basically right under her chin, and it covered all the way down and across. They couldn't see anything the young lady was wearing, but you could see tons of flowers and looked like bells and all sorts of things. There might have been a cat. Oh, that's right. It was a wildcat that was in there. I get it now.
Yep, there it is.
That's what it was.
1st and 10, Raiders ball at their own 38-yard line. They trail the Wildcats 7-0. Quarterback is the young freshman Gill. He gets it out there quickly to Gonzalez, and he's going to pick up about 9 yards, maybe 10.
You can see his burst a little bit. He's one of those guys that get him the ball in space as well, and he might create something for you. I think we're the 2-minute timeout, right?
We have a 2-minute timeout.
2-minute timeout. This game is going and moving along rather quickly.
That's right. It's one of those things when you have both teams that are wanting to run the ball, right? And so I'm excited here. This is the first time that I'm here for a game like this, where you have a lot of pageantry. Boy, some of these guys are looking sharp, man. They had some suits that I wish I could fit in. There's no way, but man, it was good. Look at all that. I was showing some power. The Wildcat power. There you go, young man. There you go. Everybody showing the guns tonight. But yeah, as you're going to see here now, these folks are dressed in their black and silver and all these nice colors that the Wildcats have. But man, I was impressed with some of these young men, some of these students that are wearing some really cool suits. You're going to see them hopefully during the half. I was just impressed with how they look. The young ladies look very nice as well. It's a night where you dress out. You know, everybody wears their black. There you go. That's always something that you want to use as well. You can never go wrong with any type of black. See a good crowd here this evening. Going to take part of the festivities that come up at halftime.
A lot of these young men they're showing are future Wildcats. That's Omar. Orlando.
He shows his guns. There you go, sir.
1st and 10 for the Raiders. And Cantu dropping back. He's under pressure, breaks away, gets out of the pocket, is hit as he gets rid of the ball, and it's tipped, almost intercepted. But a lot of pressure from the Wildcats, beginning with Dominic Rincon, that forced him out of the pocket.
Man, what a hit. That was what the difference was. The Wildcats were able to get it. You're going to see it here in the replay. Watch the quarterback, Gilly.
Here's Rincon pushing him out.
Right there.
And then Padilla comes up.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Yeah,
and just lays a load on him. 2nd down and 10.
Yeah, I was trying to get, and you know what? If he's not hit, he might have a chance. That was a couple of black jerseys back there, but he might have had a shot. I mean, we'll see here. Gilberto Cantu. Remember him, Gilly. He's your quarterback. Freshman has started here basically all night tonight.
So they're going to hand the ball off to Gonzalez. He's going to try to bounce it outside, breaks a tackle, and is finally knocked out of bounds by Uriel Oviedo after about a 9-yard pickup.
Started to put things together, trying to get some momentum on offense. You know, they're just trying to figure out different things here. And Coach Garza says, look, we're going to go with what gets us here, whatever we can find here. Never kind of imagined that you would start a freshman quarterback, but why not? You know, now you use some of the other players that were playing quarterback in different spots, and you have some athletes now on the field that you can try to get the ball to.
3rd down and 1 for the Raiders. That's going to be offsides by the Wildcats. They had 2 guys jump.
Now they get it the easy way, don't they? Yeah. The 3rd down and 1.
Offsides on the defense, number 28. 5-yard penalty. 1st down.
Drive continues.
Yeah, so they give him a 1st down after the offsides, move the ball inside the 40 to the 38-yard line.
So just the timeout situation
Clock
for both
operator,
teams.
please set the game clock at 1:37, and we'll start at the snap.
Did they say 137 or 127?
137.
Wow, that's a nice change there.
Yeah, well, I think it was at 138 before the offside.
Okay, so timeout situation. Weslaco East has 2. Brownsville Rivera has 1. They might want to use it here if they get a little closer, and we'll see.
So 1st and 10 Raiders inside the 40-yard line. Cantu, the quarterback, pistol formation. Hands the ball off to Gonzalez. That's not Gonzalez. That's going to be Eguia. Yeah. No, it is Gonzalez. I'm sorry. Gonzalez, and he's hit immediately, and he's dropped back for a loss of a yard.
Kind of a delay here. Nothing really happened. So watch this nice tackle coming up right there, number 90. Kind of put his shoulder out there, kind of threw it out there. That's Dominic Rincon, who slowed things down from his defensive tackle spot. Good thing to slow things down, and then very minimal game. They might have lost one.
Yeah, they lost a yard.
Yeah.
So 2nd down and 11. This time, Cantu's going to roll out to his right. Keeps rolling, looking for somebody, and finally just throws it away. He had a receiver out there, but wasn't really open in Leonardo Altorre, but he just decides to throw it at his feet to live and play another day.
I think he had to come across. There was nothing open down the field. He wanted to go deep, and he finally saw Altorre kind of coming across. He says, here you go. Hey, I'm running out of time back here. There's a bunch of guys in black that are not going to be very happy when they find me. So, yeah, he got rid of it.
You know, and that's one of the things the Wildcats have done well, and that's played defensive passes.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, played the pass well.
Yes.
You know, last week, you know, the quarterback for Flower Bluff found himself in trouble quite a bit because that secondary really did a good job of watching the receivers and not giving them much space or not allowing anybody to really get open.
Talking about, you're right, 100%. It really does a good job. Here you go. Talking about these young men and young ladies. The court for tonight's festivities. Everybody looking cool, nice and dapper. Class of 2026 signs already up. Student section is up and alive and moving. Everybody's happy to be here and be participating. A lot of the family members of everybody who's here. Some class reunions. Can I get number 2's autograph? Yes, right. And she even put a sign just in case you need that.
Yeah, a line to sign on.
So it's a quite an impressive night. It's going to be special for a lot of these young men and women, young students that are going to be participating. They'll remember it forever. One of the things you'll remember. I don't know if you do, Joe. I remember. Don't remember the name, but I remember the face of our homecoming queen. Do you remember?
Yeah, ours was Lena Hinojosa.
Okay. A shout out to Hinojosa, Lena Hinojosa. Could be different person, different name now, but at least you mentioned somebody. I just don't remember. I should be better at that.
Quick whistle, 3rd and 11. And that's going to be motion on the Raiders. So
False start.
Back, it'll be 3rd and 16.
On the offense. 5-yard penalty. Replay, 3rd down.
We were talking about number 1 quite a bit, and now he gets his name mentioned by the referee.
Yeah, you're being counted on to be one of these guys to get the ball. There you go, nice section this evening.
That's a student section.
Yeah, nice student section.
You're talking about big mums. Look at those sides of those mums. And they've got to wear,
I'm telling you,
straps to hold them in. They get it out to the original starting quarterback of the Raiders, Ivan Rodriguez, and really nothing doing. And I think they lost even more yardage on that play.
Well, I heard one coach once said, when you start doing the two-step, you ain't going anywhere. You're not going to get any yardage. That's what was happening there.
Of the first half.
That was I said that was the timeout. Watch this. Watch the dancing that happens. I'm dancing, and nothing happens. You know what I mean? Just kind of have to go because this defense is quick.
Yeah, Robert Oviedo, that guy just really good job, open field tackle there, not allowing him to go anywhere and forcing him to do that two-step dance.
Yeah, and so that's what you want to do. Now it's interesting because I kind of was wondering, do they make halftime longer because of the festivities?
One of the things.
Look at that. You're talking about the some of
size of the mums.
Yeah, that's one that can cover you and me together. I think.
I think so.
Stand on one side end of it, and I'll stand on the other side. It's a very nice. A lot of work and detail. Look at all that stuff. Man, oh man, A+ for able to put that together. Nice.
But I'd hate to be the one having to wear that. Can you imagine? I don't. They're gonna have like students comp for the kids.
Hurt my back. What were you doing? I was putting on a mum.
I wore a mum all day long in school today.
That's right. Look at the other one. Oh, it's white, and you have another one.
Mallory's.
Mallory. I don't know where you're gonna put. I hope you have a big room. I hope your area, or at least where you're at, is nice and big there. There we go, 4th down and 17.
For the Raiders. They're going to punt it away. The backup, who used to be the starting quarterback, is the punter.
I think we're mentioning that more for our benefit to remind us, look at the number. And hey, look at that. I got to say hi to Pure Luck Gilly. Look at Pure Luck Gilly. You got to ask him why they call him Pure Luck.
Yeah.
When you see that man, you go up to him and ask him, hey, why do they call you Pure Luck? I called them last night. We did a game together last night, and I called him. Have nice names for our guys that work here. And one of the guys we talked to him. He's coming in here. He was the ringer of the group, so I had to think it. So we called them Gilly El Pro. That's what we called them last night. Today it changes.
Okay.
Every night it changes. We'll think of something for next week.
Yes, it depends on what your assignment is.
It all depends on where you're at. That's it.
They're just going to kneel it and call it a halftime. So 18 seconds, and it's going to go down to 0 as these teams decide just to walk it off and go into the halftime locker room. The Wildcats with the ball back at their own 3-yard line. Don't have to snap it again. They lead 7-0. It is halftime, so we will see you back here on the second half here on KWES. Once again, your Wildcats leading at the half. Weslaco East 7, Brownsville Rivera 0. We'll be back in the second half right here on KWES.
With experience since 1995, thank you, J&J Homes, our halftime sponsor. And we will watch the Rivera band perform, and then we will go into Weslaco East homecoming festivities. Stick around, folks. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The Brownsville Independent School District and St. Martin Veteran College High School are proud to continue your halftime entertainment this evening. Please join me in welcoming to the field from Brownsville, Texas, the award-winning Veteran Marching Band. The Raider Band is under the field direction of drum majors Alyssa Herrera, Julian Gonzalez, and Amy Rubio. The Raider Band members of the week are High Woodwind, Myra Hernandez.
Low woodwind, Rio Garcia. High brass, Adrian Peña. Low brass, Diego Zapata. Battery, Jesse Garcia. Pit, Peter Hernandez. The hustler of the week is Jimena Vidal. Color guard member of the week is Amy Ramirez. Tonight, the Raider Band invite you to slip, slide, and dive into the icy world of penguins. They may be flightless, but they are fearless, turning a silly waddle into a march of resilience and family bonds into unbreakable strength. So bundle up, watch your step on the ice, and welcome to the Berg, where the Raider Band brings you their 2025 production, Flightless, Fearless. Drum majors, you may take it away.
In the icy wilderness of Antarctica, waddles the creature, plucky, persistent, overdressed, and utterly unbothered by the cold, the pig. But beneath the graves lies the truth. Penguins are terrible at standing still. And when they move, it's all slides, waddles, and glorious chaos.
Directors for the Raider Band are Alex R. Torres, Leilani Ramirez, Eric Ramos, Hugo Gonzalez, and Monica Vasquez. The Raider Band would like to thank Rivera Principal Mr. Obed Iliad and his administrative staff. We'd like to thank BISD Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Jesus H. Chavez, our BISD School Board, Fine Arts Administrator Michael Garcia, and Instrumental Supervisor Sam Rodriguez. A huge thank you to our amazing Rivera Band boosters and all Raider fans everywhere for your support. The Raider Band would like to extend our best wishes to the Weslaco East Wildcat Regiment and their wonderful directors for a successful marching band season. Thank you, and go Raiders!
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of Dr. David Gamboa, principal of Weslaco East High School, we want to welcome you to the 2025 Weslaco East High School Homecoming Ceremony. We'd like to call your attention to center field as we get prepared to present our homecoming court. Introducing our freshman class Duke and Duchess, Michael Salinas and Amory Zuniga. Amory is the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Marco and Ashley Zuniga. She plans to attend the University of Texas at Austin, where she will major in law. Amory is a member of the Lady Wildcat softball team and the Starlets dance drill team. Michael is the son of Mr. and Mrs. Rene and Yolanda Salinas. He plans to attend the University of Texas at Austin as well, where he will major in education. Michael is a member of the Weslaco East Student Council and Future Business Leaders of America. Let's hear it for Amory Zuniga and Michael Salinas, freshman class Duke and Duchess. Introducing our sophomore class Duke and Duchess, Enrique Ramirez and Starlet Ocañas. Starlet is the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Jose and Gina Ocañas. She plans to attend New York University, where she will major in fashion marketing. Starlet is a two-time varsity cheerleader, an All-American cheerleader, and a member of the Weslaco East Student Council and yearbook staff. Enrique is the son of Miss Gladys Ramirez. He plans to attend Sam Houston State University, where he will major in criminal justice. Enrique is a member of the Wildcats baseball and soccer teams. Let's hear it for the sophomore class Duke and Duchess, Enrique Ramirez and Starlet Ocañas. Introducing the junior class Duke and Duchess, Matthew Espinosa and Victoria Barron. Victoria is the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Javier and Sandra Barron. She plans to attend the University of Texas Rio Grande Valley, where she will major in health science. Victoria is the captain of the Starlets dance drill team, member of the Starling Silks and the National Honor Society. She serves as president of the HOFSA Club and is a member of the Hidalgo County Cotillion. Matthew is the son of Mr. Greg and Jose Villegas. He plans to attend Texas A&M University, Corpus Christi, where he will major in sports medicine. Matthew serves as a student trainer for the Weslaco East Wildcats. Let's hear it for our junior class Duke and Duchess, Matthew Espinosa and Victoria Barron. And now we want to introduce our finalists for Homecoming King and Queen. Introducing Edward de Alba and Alexa Trevino. Alexa is the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Renee and Erica Trevino. She plans to attend Texas A&M University, where she will major in business and psychology. Alexa serves as a major in the Starlets dance and drill team and is also a member of Folklorico, Mariachi, the National Honor Society, Business Professionals of America, the Astronomy Club. She ranks as the top 10 of her class in 2026. Edward is the son of Mr. and Mrs. Ricardo and Elvia de Alba. He plans to attend the University of Texas Rio Grande Valley, where he will major in biology. Edward is a member of the Wildcat Regiment, Mariachi, and National Honor Society, and the Astronomy Club. He is a three-time TMEA regional qualifier, three-time area qualifier, and ranks in the top 10 of the graduating class of 2026. Introducing Aiden Gonzalez and Mallory Belmades. Mallory is the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. George and Marali Guajardo. She plans to attend the University of Texas at San Antonio, where she'll major in business management. Mallory is captain of the varsity cheerleading squad, a three-time varsity cheerleader, four-time UCA All-American cheerleader, Hall of Fame cheerleader, UCA staff candidate, and 2024-2025 Cheerleader of the Year. She's also a member of the Weslaco East Student Council and Cosmetology Program. Aiden is the son of Mr. Adrian Gonzalez and Miss Melinda Peña. He plans to attend Our Lady of the Lake University, where he will major in business administration. Aiden is the captain of the varsity Wildcat football team, four-year Wildcat baseball player, the 2024 Weslaco East Offensive Player of the Year, and a member of the Weslaco East Student Council. Next, introducing Devin Mendez and Marlene Montemayor. Marlene is the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Hector and Marisela Montemayor. She plans to attend Texas A&M University, where she will major in biology. Marlene is a 2-time head drum major for the Wildcat Regiment, a National Honor Society officer, president of Business Professionals of America, co-founder and officer of the Astronomy Club, a Science UIL participant, a state solo and ensemble medalist, and she ranks in the top 10 of the class of 2026. Devin is the son of Mrs. Perla Cabrera. He plans to attend University of Texas Rio Grande Valley, where he will major in engineering. Devin is a member of the Wildcat Regiment, the Astronomy Club, and Business Professionals of America. Next, introducing Charlie Trevino and Jennifer Lopez. Jennifer is the daughter of Mrs. Michelle Rodriguez. She plans to attend Our Lady of the Lake, where she will major in early child education and music. Jennifer serves as president of the Wildcats Varsity Choir and is a honor choir finalist, UIL Choir gold medalist champion, and 13th chair all-state choir competitor. She's also the photographer and editor of the Photography Club, a member of the Come As You Are Bible Study Club, a 3-year Vase Art medalist, a member of the National Honor Art Society, and part of the East Elevates Social Club. Additionally, she serves as senior class historian and is a musician and songwriter. Charlie is the grandson of Mrs. Rosauda Lida. He plans to attend University of Texas at San Antonio and major in business. Charlie is a 3-time varsity cheerleader, 2-time All-American cheerleader, a member of the Future Farmers of America, Culinary Arts, and Floral Design. He was also recognized as the CTE Student of the Month. And now, if you would, please welcome Weslaco East Student Council representatives Aisha Morales and Elise Ibarra. Thank you, Aisha and Elise, for taking the time to help crown tonight's king and queen. Congratulations to all the wonderful students who ran for homecoming king and queen. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the moment you've been waiting for. This year's homecoming king is Aiden Gonzalez. Congratulations, Aiden Gonzalez, this year's homecoming king. And now, we want to introduce you to this year's homecoming queen for Weslaco East Wildcats. It is Mallory Belmontes. Congratulations, Mallory, this year's homecoming queen. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Dr. Richard Rivera, Superintendent of Schools, and Dr. David Gamboa, Principal at Weslaco East High School, we want to congratulate tonight's homecoming court. We want to thank all of you for coming out tonight. Remember that when you're at East and when you're a Wildcat, you're always a Wildcat. And as we always say, East Side, Strong Side. And once again, we want to wish all the bands and the Wildcat Regiment good luck tomorrow at the pre-pigskin competition in Mercedes. We invite everybody to head out and support your bands and the Wildcat Regiment. Congratulations, Aiden and Mallory, this year's homecoming king and queen. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, we direct your attention to the Jumbotron, where you will see the halftime scores brought to you by Taqueria El Compaito, located across the street from the stadium. After the game, you can order delicious lunches and a variety of taquitos, including bistec, trompo, fajita, tripas, and more. Your halftime scores brought to you by Taqueria El Compaito. And hey, look on the screen, we have the class of 2006 celebrating their 20-year reunion. Welcome home, fellas. Welcome home, Wildcats. It's good to see all of you.
Is this thing on? Oh, I thought they silenced us yet. Life is a trip, so sometimes we gon' stumble. You gotta go through pain in order to become you. But once the world knows you, you'll feel like it's only one you.
Do it better than anybody you ever seen. Do it, scream from the haters. Got a nice ring to it. So excited.
East side, north side.
Welcome back to Texas National Bank Field at Bobby Lackey Stadium. We get set for the second half. What a great halftime show it was, as it is homecoming here at Weslaco. And the Weslaco East Wildcats celebrating homecoming. We want to congratulate the homecoming king and the queen. The king was, or is, the quarterback, Aiden Gonzalez. So congratulations there, Aiden. And of course, the homecoming queen, Mallory Belmare. So congratulations to those two.
Yeah, congratulations to you both. I mean, this is, I saw the majority of it, and man, it's exciting. Yeah, I'm wondering, where do I turn in my ballot for next year? That's what I was wondering. I say, who do I talk to turn in my ballot? No, all kidding aside, nice festivities at halftime. But let's get back to some football. Weslaco East only has a touchdown lead. And so we'll see what adjustments they have made. Adjustments Coach got us on the other side, what the Rivera Raiders have made. Let's get it going.
Hernandez on to kick the ball away, and he's got Alejandro Garza for the Raiders back deep, and it's just going to be a squib kick caught at the 22-yard line. And this is the original starting quarterback, Ivan Rodriguez, who caught it right at the sideline and rolled it out to the 40-yard line. But here is the starting defense for your West East Wildcats.
Melendez, Alan Alejos, Ramiro Carrera, Daniel Padilla, Santiago Flores, Nehemias Munoz, Devin Reina, Jaden Gurgel, Derek Salinas.
Mental health and well-being begins with Dr. Daniel Lozano, former athlete and proud alum of Weslaco ISD.
You know, it is, as we were mentioning, homecoming, so a lot of class reunions. The 20th class reunion out there was Jay Herrera's dad. We saw him right on the camera right away as well.
That's right, 2006 when they graduated. Wow.
Quick handoff on the first play from scrimmage to Gonzalez, and he's breaking some tackles, breaking it outside, finally knocked down out of bounds after about a nice 8-yard gain.
So early on, first play I know here, but watch what they do a little different. First of all, you got a different quarterback.
Right.
And then you've going wide now, trying to kind of what Weslaco East kind of did to the Raiders early on, kind of wanted to go wide. Everybody's kind of lined up in the middle. Look at how many Wildcats are lined up on the defensive line and linebacking space back there. The Weslaco East regiment. Look at that. Those guys are fine-tuned musicians.
The drum line. Got to see them a couple of weeks ago at the Drumming Percussion Festival in Mercedes. Second down and 3. handoff again to Gonzalez. This time he is hit right away. The linebacker doing a great job coming up, Derek Salinas, and making initial contact and bringing him down.
So the running game is what they're going to start here early with. So again, a change. Arturo Cuellar, number 17, starts the second half at quarterback. The majority of the snaps were taken by Gilberto Cantu, the young freshman. Doesn't mean we won't see him there. Just now they're trying something a little different. Maybe that part of the adjustments at half. Rivera just down by a touchdown, so they got to put a drive together here if they can and try to tie this up.
So as you mentioned, it is Cuellar in at quarterback. They'll send a man in motion. High snap, comes down, and he's going to have to keep it as there's a little mix-up in the backfield, but a really good job of running by him as they only needed 3 for the first down. He gets beyond the chain and then some all the way to the 45-yard line. So good adjustment by the quarterback.
Make the best of a broken play. Watch this. High snap first. Oh, well, you're not going to get it? You're going to block me? No, I'm just going to take it by myself, and I'm going to try to pick up some yards, and he does. Nice positive yardage, first down.
Yeah, and a good tackle there by Devin Reyna to knock them out of bounds. First and 10, 45-yard line. Raiders have been able to move the ball, just get inside the red zone, and they just end up stalling. Gonzalez, the ball carrier, and he gets through the line out to the 40-yard line, 5-yard pickup. Talking about getting into the red zone. They were in the red zone maybe 3 times in the first half, and then just really the penalties begin to kind of keep them from moving the ball forward. And that's the same thing with the Wildcats. They had a couple of false start penalties that just kind of died or killed their drives.
Yeah, it just pushes you back, and then you kind of have to restart it, and it's just harder to do it all over again. So, but you'll see if they can clean those up.
Cuellar going deep, and he's got a receiver, and just out of the fingertips of the intended target, Leandro Alatorre.
Devin Reyna, watch him here. I think Alatorre has a chance.
He does. That's why I said fingertips.
Yeah, watch this. Oh, nice pass. Watch this. Watch number 18. Come up and, just kind of push him at the very end. That was a high ball. But still, you got to give credit there to the defensive player who got there on time. If he's not there, maybe he has an opportunity to bring it down. We'll never know. But brings up a third down now.
Yeah, third down and about 6. Ball at the 41-yard line. They got to get to the 35. They're going to send a man in motion, and they're going to be a jet sweep to the man in motion, which is Rodriguez. And he's going to be a little bit shy of the first down, so it's going to be a 4th and 2.
We haven't seen Ivan Rodriguez play quarterback. Remember, he kind of started the last few games at quarterback and switching around a little bit, but now you see him there being used as a running back, so using some of his talents. And are they gonna go for this?
They are. They're going to put Cuellar under center. And the ball is on the ground. Cuellar picks it up, and I guess there was some confusion as far as the snap or what happened, and the Wildcats just seemed to not move at the snap.
The ball just kind of fell on the ground. You'll see it here. Watch, this is a fumble. And then just picks it up. Really nice way for Cuellar to pick it up and just go forward and pick up a first down. Now, I'm pretty sure that wasn't the play.
No, it wasn't. And again, we saw Cuellar make something out of nothing just like a little while ago on that broken play. And a good job there by Gavin Melendez to make the stop. So 1st and 10 for the Raiders. Ball inside the 35, 34-yard line. We're going to spot it. 2 receivers on each side. They're going to send a man in motion. Again, a bad snap, and Cuellar again is going to keep it and run with it. That may have been a designed run to begin with.
Yeah, it sure looked like it. But great defense there by this Wildcat team. You got to give credit to number 35 coming up, Derek Salinas. Watch him kind of come in. Yeah, high snap. They kind of slow things down, but watch Salinas go low and doesn't let go. Nice tackle there. Yeah, those snaps sometimes are tricky. It just all depends on who the quarterback is, and then you got some cadence with a new quarterback. They've tried 3 different quarterbacks, at least that I think. Really, what were 3 quarterbacks early on? At least 2 for sure. So sometimes that can bother the center. It just depends on things.
So 2nd and 9, they picked up 1 on that previous play. They're going to hand the ball off to the running back in the backfield. and that is going to be Jorge Garcia.
Yep.
And there really isn't a lot of room for him, as a great job done there by Dominic Rincon, just really shutting down that side of the field, bringing up a 3rd down and 8.
Look at the pursuit. I think this is what you need to see, the pursuit of the linebackers, defensive linemen, everybody kind of coming. And that's a trademark here of the Weslaco East defense. They will get to the ball, and when they get there, yeah, it's not going to be fun, especially if you're carrying the ball, and that's what you saw there. Nice hard hitting by this Wildcat defense.
So 3rd down and 8, empty backfield for the quarterback. And this time they're going to bring Rodriguez in at quarterback. And it's going to be a Wildcat. He's going to run with it. He breaks the initial tackle, and there goes Rincon trying to go get him, and they're not going to get him down. And we talked about, and you have said this more than I have, about the athleticism of this young man, Ivan Rodriguez, who was the starting quarterback and now has been used in the slot, in a jet sweep, and now they put him in at the Wildcat, and he just began to run with it, and he picks up 9 on this one.
The difference in talking to Coach Garza about these quarterbacks, you see put his head down at the end there, picked up a 1st down. They feel that he's more athletic and more in command of this offense. We'll see. Time will tell. I don't think he's played enough for us to see it, but we'll see.
Well, he's back in at quarterback, Rodriguez is, and he's going to hand the ball off to the running back, Garcia. And Garcia is just going to lower his head, and really nothing there. He picks up a yard.
So, yeah, the carousel of quarterbacks continues for the Rivera Raiders, and they still want to run the ball. That's obviously something they want to do. But now they have a quarterback that can also run with it. I think before, that was the biggest difference. When you started with Gilly, just more of a passing quarterback. And then some of the other guys that kind of were just kind of giving the ball off. Now, you know, if they decide to stay with it, which they're not, as we were talking about it, they bring in Gilberto Cantu, the young freshman quarterback who wants to throw the ball.
And they're quick whistles, so it's going to stop the play. That normally is a false start.
Yeah, usually.
False start on the offense, number 4. 5-yard penalty, replay, 2nd down.
They call it on the quarterback.
You mentioned those.
I'm sorry, not the quarterback, because he ain't in it quarterback again. And you and I talked about that before the game. It's going to be a hard time kind of keep up who's where. Because they were going to put all kinds of people. And you know, look, they're going 6'7", 6'7", 6'7". That's a new lingo for these kids.
What is 6'7"?
Mediocre.
Oh, mediocre. Is that what it's supposed to mean?
Yeah.
Oh, geez. Now I know what they were telling me that. Yeah, mediocre. All right, no, thanks. Better than bad, I guess.
They move the ball back. It'll create a 2nd down and a 14. They got Cantu at quarterback, and they're going to move it back even 5 more yards.
It might have been the same play.
On
Rodriguez.
the offense, number 4.
Rodriguez takes off.
Still 2nd down.
He figured he's all rummed up now. He's been running with the ball. He's been the quarterback. But do you get the sense, Joe, that when you have Gilly in there, Cantu, the freshman quarterback, number 14, that they want to throw the ball? And I just get the sense, I don't know if you do, but it just feels like they want him to throw the ball. And then the other 2 guys, well, they'll do whatever they want. But when he's in there, at least I haven't seen him run with it yet. Not that he can't. It's just, I just get a feeling that he wants to throw, and he might be their throwing quarterback if there's such a thing, that.
Well, we'll get to my response in just a bit. 3 receivers. They're going to hand the ball off to the running back, and that running back is going to be Gonzalez, who's in the backfield with him. But I don't know, if you remember, and I think you're spot on, Fred.
Yeah.
But they did come out throwing the ball early.
Okay.
And his first completion was to Rodriguez.
That's right.
And so, they wanted to get that ball in his hands and out of his hands as a passing quarterback early, just to get him some confidence.
Right.
And so, you're onto something there.
Well, we're just waiting. I think both of us would describe this as they see the Wildcat cheerleaders bringing the spirit of Weslaco East. There you go. Congratulations. She's got all sorts of cool stuff now.
Gabriela Sanchez, the cheerleader of the week. They'll send Rodriguez in motion. Jet sweep to him, and he's going to throw it. Almost intercepted. Little mix-up in the run route, I think. But Devin Reyna was back there just providing coverage, and he almost was the intended target.
That never really materialized, did it?
Right.
It never really went there. The Rodriguez, watch this. They go on the sweep, and then he's thinking about throwing it. No, I got to wait. And he throws it out there. And the only one out there was a guy in black. There you go. He's the only one that you mentioned. Devin Reina out there. There's nothing really much happening. So they're trying to pass the ball. We're still thinking Alejandro Garza, who was their go-to guy on this offense when it comes down to passing, hasn't really been targeted here at all here in the third quarter. We'll see if that changes.
It is 4th down, but they're they're at the 31-yard line, so it's kind of 4-down territory. You know, you punt it, you don't really give up much.
Before the play, timeout, Brownsville Rivera.
And so the coach wants to talk about things as they look at their options, because, again, they're at the 31-yard line. They do have quite a bit to go for the first down. It's 4th and about 17.
Yeah, and it'll be too long, right, for a field goal at this point?
I would believe so.
At this level,
you know, I didn't see anybody warming up, kicking the ball.
No, not from this far, no.
Well, I didn't see anybody, period, kicking the ball.
I got you.
That's what I'm saying. And so, you think about, the games that we do, and you and I are out there, watching the teams, and we see some teams that have some really good kickers, and they're out there nailing some from 30, 40, 50 yards sometimes.
Sure.
And tonight, to be honest with you, I didn't see anybody out there kicking field goals.
Well, I agree with you. The only thing I see is kiss cam.
Yeah.
When I come and I say, like, it's time for the kiss, andale, acércate. There you go. Way to go. There's a Cowboy fan. There you go. I don't know about Sunday, sir, but today, congratulations.
Yeah. You're a winner today.
Tonight, you're a winner. That's right. There you go.
Hey, he got excited.
He's not too. That's the best thing that's happened to him today, because he's an Eagle fan.
Exactly.
So we know how that goes. The excitement. There you go. Way to go.
Eso.
That's it. Done.
All right. Fourth down and 17. They come back, and they are going for it. Empty backfield for Cantu. He drops back, looking in the middle, under pressure, gets rid of it underneath, and there's nothing there. They get it to a la Torre, but they're, and that was really just a safety valve.
Yeah, there was nothing open. Great job by this defense. We spoke to Coach Brigette before the game, and I told him what you and I were talking about. I said, if you go back to the broadcast that we had against Flower Bluff, this is the kind of stuff they were able to do. I said, that was the best half of a defensive football that we have seen. He looks at me, he said, that was pretty good. I said, yeah, that was pretty good. We've seen that, and that kind of carried over, obviously, to this tonight. I mean, they have no points. That tells you, and they've been trying to throw the ball. But this defense for the Wildcats has been on point, at least here so far.
But again, they moved the ball down. They were inside, the 30-yard line, and then not personal foul, but motion penalties moved him back 10 yards. And that's Jay Herrera. He's going to pick up 11 yards on his first carry. No, he's going to pick up like 14 yards on his first carry. We hadn't called his name much today.
Yeah, you're right. Quick strike, Jay. That's right. He's going to come out there and watch this. He brings a different element that any of the other backs don't. I mean, we've already talked extensively what everybody of these other backs bring. They have special traits, and this young man is different in his own right. He's got some speed, he's got some power. It doesn't look like he's the biggest guy out there, but he's hard to bring down.
Almost a wishbone formation there, and again, they're going to give it to Herrera. This time he's going to cut it up early, and he's only going to pick up 1 yard. So it'll be 2nd and 9 from the 43-yard line.
Yeah, you have a different formation that you hadn't seen basically all game. I mean, you always have running backs in the backfield if you're the Wildcats. But this time, you're right, kind of thinking they want to go option. You mentioned wishbone, right? There'll be some of that kind of stuff. Here we go.
Let's see some TDs. Yeah,
I'm all for it. At least one more would be great on the board. I think that's something that we can definitely get here now. That is going to take some work here now. If you're the Wildcats, this defense now has kind of adjusted to the running game, and all of a sudden we change it up again. Here you go. Big pass pattern. No, we're right up the middle. That ball's going to be blocked.
Batted down, and they had a receiver right in the middle. They faked it out here to Rodriguez underneath, and then they're trying to go right in the middle to the tight end. They had Villegas lined up there at the tight end, and he was wide open in the middle, but it got knocked down. What a good play call.
Yeah, number 20 comes up, Jacob Martinez. First time we even mentioned his name. Linebacker, young sophomore, makes a big play. And that was I think he was open in the middle there.
He was.
Yeah, they would have gotten at least a first down, if not more.
That was a really good play. Drawn up really well. 3rd down and 9. Gonzalez rolling to his left, and here comes the flags. And we were talking about that. Is every time that either team, and it's gone both ways. So we just saw the first drive from the, I'm sorry, not the first drive, but the drive on the Raiders move down the field, and then two motion penalties moved them back, and so they're faced with 4th and 17.
And both teams, so, yeah, I'm sorry, and both teams have struggled with it, trying to get back. Right now.
Yeah, exactly. And so now, you know, you had 3rd and 9, now you got 3rd and 14.
Yeah. No, yeah, spot on. Yeah, they have trouble. Can they overcome these penalties that just have been drive killers, really, for both teams?
Gonzalez trying to roll out, and he is hit as he's trying to get rid of the football. And coming in on a blitz was Juan Carlos Saucedo.
And here it happens again, Joe. See, you get a penalty. You were maybe moving here, and all of a sudden something negative happens. You can't have any more mistakes because then you turn it over. You know, you get to pick up a 4th down, something that was positive. Now you can't get out of, and now that stalls the drive, and then you have to punt.
And blitzes on 3rd and long are really good calls because you've got to have some time to make a play develop.
Yeah.
This one is returnable, and that's Alejandro Garza looking for the wall. There is a flag, and that's normally some kind of illegal block.
Yeah, usually that's what it is. That usually happens here. Well, let's see here. We'll wait for the official to make it official. But, you know, do you get the sense that at this point, if the Wildcats can put something together, maybe on a turnover, that's what it's going to take? Here we go. The official's going to make it official.
Holding on the receiving team, number 20. 10 yards from the spot of the foul. 1st down.
Well, that backs up the Raiders. That was a pretty decent return by Garza. That's going to negate it. That's going to bring you back some. So, yeah, it looks like the team that makes, you know, has maybe the ball at the end. Weslaco has, obviously, the Wildcats have the lead. But it's been a kind of an up and down 3rd quarter. It's at times it looks like it's going to move, and then it completely stops with all the penalties.
Yeah, and we saw that starting to kind of begin in the 2nd quarter.
Yeah.
So to move it back to the 39-yard line where it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Raiders. 1:59 to go here in the 3rd quarter. Wildcats up. A bad snap to the quarterback, and he tries to just get rid of it, and it's batted away by the linebacker who was hot on his tail, Derek Salinas.
Yeah, the Wildcats, boy, there's all sorts of things happening in that one. First, the snap, which, whoa, I got to go get it. And then he's trying to throw it. I have somebody open, I think, and then the Wildcats block it out of the way. And he did for a second. As a matter of fact, it looked like Cuellar was open out there in the flat. So, yeah, that was a nice way of not giving up a 1st down. They might have had a 1st down if Cuellar catches it.
Yeah, and a lot of times that happens because the defense will react to the fumble.
Some of the better plays for Rivera here tonight have come off of broken plays. Fumbles or bad snaps, and they pick up a 1st down.
2nd and 10, Rodriguez back in at quarterback. He's going to fake it and then throw it out underneath. And that is caught by Arturo Cuellar. And Arturo doesn't really have much room as he is quickly brought down by Gavin Melendez.
I don't think that's a play that is very successful, tonight anyway, because of how quickly the Wildcats are getting there on defense. Watch, see that? Watch them swarm. I mean, that just quickly getting there, not give you any chance to. You can catch it, maybe try to make a sidestep or two, and then if you don't, that's it. A bunch of other black jerseys are going to come corral you.
Yeah, it was Santiago Flores making the initial contact there on that play, limiting it to only a 3-yard gain. So it's 3rd down and 7. Rodriguez going to roll out to his right, looking downfield. Doesn't have anything.
Nope.
Looks like he's going to try to run, but he stops, and now he gets rid of it, and he's got an open target. A good job there by Alatorre, sensing that his quarterback is in trouble and coming up and just making himself visible.
That was nothing there. I mean, literally. I mean, just watch him come out. Look how long it takes for him to even.
The receiver caught the ball out of bounds. Incomplete pass.
Okay, so that is not going to count. That's a nice play. Good effort by Alatorre to come back and find his quarterback. His quarterback is going to love him for the remainder of this game because he came back and helped him out, but the receiver has stepped out of bounds, so that will not count.
You know, we were talking about the good secondary of the Wildcats, and last week, that's kind of what they had to make the adjustment the Hornets did. Remember Watson was doing that? He was just coming back and just trying to find an open spot. This is going to be a rugby-style punt. It's going to be Carrera going to be trying to chase it down, but it's going to go out of bounds at the 19-yard line. Carrera was just going to kind of push it out of bounds as Alatorre was already running down there. So it'll be 1st and 10 for your Wildcats at their own 19-yard line with 49 seconds left here in the third quarter, and they are up 7-0.
So it's homecoming 2026, and my wish for the remainder of this game, just or maybe the fourth quarter, one good drive, no penalties. It doesn't matter if you score, but at least put a drive together. I think field position is going to be key here. If they can move the ball, even if they don't score, the Wildcats don't, go deep, and then from there, I think something will happen. I think field position is going to be a key here.
Gonzalez and Rodriguez back in the backfield. They're going to hand it off to Rodriguez off on the left side, and he's just going to fall forward for about 4 yards, and that's going to do it. Let me see if they have to take another snap. They don't have to take another snap.
Yeah, I think you're right.
And we'll see if the Wildcats decide to. Normally, you'll see Burgett say, come on over here. We don't have to snap it. Let's start our discussion
let's
now.
Turn it over. Wait a minute. I was just thinking, are you allowed to wish during homecoming 2026? I was thinking, it's. I don't know if that's the type of celebration you're saying. I would like one wish. 2026 homecoming. I don't know if that's possible, but maybe should be a thing.
Barring a penalty, this will be the last play of the third quarter. Nathan Rodriguez plowing forward to about the 28-yard line, where it'll be 3rd down and 1. When we come back in the fourth quarter, we played 3 here at Bobby Lackey Stadium. At the end of 3, it's your Wildcats 7, the Raiders 0. We'll be right back. Wildcats scored towards the end of the first quarter, and that is all we have seen, as Fred and I have been talking about just the drive killers we've seen in tonight's ball game. And as Fred was mentioning right before the end of the third quarter, we'd like to see a good drive put together here by your Wildcats.
Yeah, it's going to come down to field position. If you can get across midfield, get it to about the 30, play some defense, which, by the way, the Wildcats have done excellent here this evening. Look at the score. So, yeah, if you can do that, I think we've got a chance here.
Gonzalez, the quarterback, he's going to keep it on 3rd and 1 to get across the 33 to the 34-yard line. That's going to move the chains for your Wildcats, 1st and 10.
I think, and do you feel the same, that without the penalties, this might be a different game?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just true. That's just the way that goes. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure if that has been the case. And you talk to the coaches, they'll probably tell you, those penalties are the killers. But yeah, I agree. I think it would be a different type of game if it wasn't the case.
1st and 10, Wildcats. The toss. Gonzalez is going to keep it, and he's going to be thrown out of bounds.
That's a horse collar.
Yeah, exactly. I was about to say, and that was a couple of steps out, so the flag came out, and so there's going to be 15 yards tacked onto that one.
Yeah, and the penalties, by the way, that I was wishing for was not to be on the Wildcats. If they're on the Raiders, well, we can live with those. But, you don't want it to get on the side of the offense. And
no, that one's going to be on the Raiders.
Yeah, so that's and that could be dangerous as well as you're heading out of bounds. Exactly. And it becomes a safety issue. And you kind of already saw that. Let's make it official here, Mr. Official.
After the play, we got dead ball foul, personal foul, unnecessary reference, late hit out of bounds, number 10 on the defense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he was already like 3 steps out of bounds, and he just continued the momentum, and just continued to spin around. It was a quick snap to the quarterback, and he's running. And as he gets him out of bounds, he just continues to throw him.
Yeah. I thought it was more of a horse, but you're right, 100% right. That just way out of bounds.
So Gonzalez again, the quarterback, same formation. This time they're going to give it to Rodriguez. He's out to the right side, comes back to the left. Big run forward, Rodriguez, and just the vision that he has to be able to get through that line and get out to the 40. A good 11-yard pickup for him.
Now we're talking. There you go. That's what we wanted to see. You wanted to see some power football? There it is. And number 2 is usually a good guy to give it to. Rodriguez, he can pound and get some yardage and keep the ball rolling and keep the
Talking
drive
about
going.
mums there, Fred. You were talking about mums.
See,
Here we go.
that one's appropriate. That's cute. That's nice. It fits his young lady. Congratulations. Everybody's happy. Wow, look at her spirit. Wow.
1st and 10 Wildcats. Same play to Rodriguez. Breaks a tackle, still on his feet, down to the 31-yard line. Nice 9-yard pickup. So 11 and 9 yards back-to-back by Rodriguez. He has been the workhorse tonight.
Yeah, and they needed him to be. You know, obviously limited snaps tonight on Herrera. We've seen that already. We haven't seen too much playing also for Burnias. You know, and it's not a lot either. So, you know, it just all depends on what the game plan dictates. But tonight, you're right.
But Burnias has done a good job lead blocking.
Yes.
You know, he's been out there on the field quite a bit, and his role tonight has been as a lead blocker. And you just got to embrace those gentlemen who go out there and embrace their role.
Yeah.
Gonzalez keeps it, trying to bounce it outside, and he cannot get out of the grasp of Brandon Guerra. So good job by Guerra in an open field and not allowing Gonzalez to get around him.
Yeah, he tried to use his speed and quickness, but you know what? You're right. That coming up, watch his tackle. That's a good tackle. You got to come up and put your arms around him and tackle him. He's very slippery. Gonzalez can go. You got to be careful with him. Be on the lookout. Nice tackle. You have to do that against him.
So he's going to lose 2 yards on that play. It'll bring up a 3rd down and 3. Under 10 minutes to go in this ball game. Wildcats up 7-0.
Need one more for insurance. One more for insurance. That's what I'm thinking.
Gonzalez under center, hands it out to Rodriguez. Rodriguez breaks a tackle because getting in there in the backfield was Andres Rocha. And, you know, when you put an arm on Rodriguez, you ain't bringing him down.
No, it's just not going to happen. And then you saw he moves the pile. And the officials let it go for a second, and this is kind of what happens afterwards. Everybody says, well, you started pushing me first. Well, no, you pushed me first. You know, that kind of thing. But you see the power running. And so, again, Weslaco East is happy doing this right here. You read up the clock, put your head down, block whoever's in the different colored jersey, pull, and push. And then so on the bottom, they start giving you the business. It's a different thing. Yeah.
Yeah, you're already on the ground, dude.
That's it. Yeah, you can pull the ball out, but it ain't going to count for much.
1st and 10, 25-yard line. They have like a power eye shift to the left. And again, it's Rodriguez. And Rodriguez isn't going to get touched till he gets into the defensive secondary. And Javier Lopez brings him down. But again, it's not until he gets into the secondary 9 yards down the field.
This offensive line really now starting to open some holes. You know, you're going one way, they push it the other way. If you're going to be coming in, you're going to push it out. This offensive line is starting to dominate here in the 4th quarter. And that's a good sign. That's a good sign when you start seeing that offensive line the defensive line going backwards.
Yeah, that's Luben Garcia, Orlando Salinas, J.D. Sanchez, Jacob Zuniga, Joe Barrera, and every now and again, you also see Charles Bush out there as well. You know, those guys have done a tremendous job, and year in and year out, that's what you see from the Wildcats, just the physicality, but more than anything else, just the conditioning, their ability to just keep on keeping on, controlling the line of scrimmage, winning the game in the trenches, and now it's beginning to show because, as you mentioned, you know, he's getting right through the front line.
Yeah, and coming in, we kind of thought, and even the coaches, Coach Brigade and some of the other coaches said, that's going to be our strength, right? Being able to dominate the game because we have a good offensive line. It's funny because I remember one of the first scrimmages, I remember it might have been Port Isabel, but Coach, who was it, the one, a new offensive coordinator, Coach Carlos Cuellar comes over.
Yes, Cuellar.
And Coach says, these kids are so nice. Because I'm trying to get them to be football players, you know, and that tells you how the students they are. They're nice kids. They're good athletes. But his coach says, you know, in his offensive lineman, I tell him, guys, you guys got to be mean. You got to be strong. And the kids are, you know, the young men, obviously, they're saying, yeah, coach, you know, they're trying to transform him when they come onto the football field. It was nice to see, you know, how they change from, you know, not wearing pads to wearing pads, now to being very aggressive.
2nd and 1, again, the handoff to Rodriguez, and again, Rodriguez is going to put his head down and get into the secondary, and the linebacker actually had to come up and catch him from behind, Carlos Trevino, but that's going to move the chains. They're inside the 10-yard line, 1st and goal from the 7.
I'm just following 55. I'm following Joe Barrera. I'm just going to follow where he goes. I'm right behind you, buddy. He's one of those guys along the line that can get things for it. And if not, then J.D. Sanchez. I'm following you guys. Here we go. Let's see where they go.
Again, Rodriguez, the ball carrier, he slips as he's trying to cut upfield, and so he loses a little bit of momentum, but he gets inside the 5, and then they push him back, but then he pushes them forward.
We came to see a football game, and in rugby, it kind of broke out here. I don't know exactly what. Is this a little scrum? That kind of happens. Watch this. This is fun. Come up there.
He loses, and then he gets hit. He comes back, but then he starts moving forward again.
And then the offensive, we're still going. Oh, yeah, let me push you.
And that's Joe Barrera, speaking of guys pushing.
Yeah, Joe Barrera comes over. So watch 55 and 70. Those are the guys. Is this something? Does this young man know something we don't? Touchdown Wildcats? Yeah, that's what we're hoping for. Yeah, well, we'll see. She's still asking for the autograph.
Yeah.
Maybe during the post-game show.
Here we go, Rodriguez. Touchdown Wildcats. So it's Rodriguez's second touchdown of the night.
Yeah. And yes, he's a smart young man. Besides being a talented athlete, we said if you stay away from the penalties, look at that. You got to touch it. Watch where he likes to run. Right behind 55 and 70. You do that this close into the end zone, you're going to get a nice throw in the air by Bush. Bush throws him up in the air. It's part of their nice traditional celebration here. Touchdown, Wildcats.
Alejo's on to attempt the point after. Mr. Chipotle Chicken.
That's right.
And it's good. So it's 6:49 to go here in this ball game. It's now your Wildcats 14, the Raiders 0.
And we kind of thought, right, in the beginning, if they can stay away from the penalties, which they did.
On that drive, they did.
And you run your offense, which they did, so check off number 2. Then if everything goes right with the first 2, the third one will usually just come in by itself, which is a successful touchdown, and that's what you got to see. There you go. That's exactly what you wanted to see from this Wildcat football. Wanted to at least put one more up. What are we doing? Doing the dance cam?
It is the dance cam.
It is the dance cam. Everybody's coming out for the dance cam. Remember,
the one that they need to get on the dance cam is our cameraman, Vinny.
Yeah, Vinny's got a special dance I hear.
Yeah, he does.
That he only saves for Friday nights.
And Saturday mornings as well.
Saturday mornings?
Yeah,
well, see, there you go. I didn't know he had it on Saturday mornings. Look at everybody. Look at everybody. That's right. The families are here hanging out and having a good time.
Hernandez on to kick the ball away for your Wildcats. And it's going to be Garza back deep. And he is going to pick it up on one hop at the 22-yard line. Did someone fair catch?
I'm thinking they did because it might have, or maybe when he caught it.
We had a fair catch signal by number 23 on the receiving team. By rule, did by the spot where
you're right. Yeah, he called it. Once you call it, it's going to end there.
Right. Regardless of who calls it.
Yeah. And that's what they're marking it.
Yeah.
The 25. Coach is out there, wants an explanation. He wants to know exactly, was he waving? Was he did call it? What happened? Was it back here? He wants an explanation. This Coach Garza.
Yeah.
Talking to the officials.
Yeah, because I didn't see it happen, but as soon as the whistle comes out or was blown, that kind of is almost a dead giveaway when you don't see anything flags back here. Yeah. When you see flags back here, you're normally looking for an illegal block, a hold, or something. But then when it's just kind of blown there all of a sudden, at least in my eyes, that's going to be somebody called a fair catch.
Yeah, that's usually a dead giveaway, right? They usually says, that's what you see. Yep. Mm-hmm.
So we're going to bring in Rodriguez back in at quarterback. He's going to be an empty gun for him. You're going to have Garza alone on the top of your screen. There goes Rodriguez now changing directions. Padilla coming up, grabbing him, and he's finally pushed out of bounds. Good job there by Jaden Garza.
And then nothing developed downfield. I mean, there was nothing really happening.
Again, so you had to secondary.
They had to scramble. Just go around. Really watch him just run out. You almost caught him here. Watch him. They'll just miss him. Padilla misses him, but he slows him down enough where everybody else can come up and clean up afterwards. Now you have a Rivera Raider down. Looks like one of their offensive linemen might be down.
Yeah, and one of the things is, you know, as a quarterback, you need to be reminded week in and week out, when you are outside that tackle, throw it down the field. Don't lose those 7 yards like they just lost right now.
And that makes it that much harder. So as it is, you've been having trouble moving the ball with this defense. This defense has completely come to play tonight, and you see it on the scoreboard and how they're flying around. And then you're right. You kind of make a mistake like that. You don't get rid of it, and then you're back 7 yards. And now that's just, we talked about the penalties. Well, these type of plays are just as bad as a penalty because they back you up.
They're one sense even worse because you lose a down as well.
That's true.
On a penalty, you at least get to redo the down, but here you don't.
Right. So now you have to work that much harder to try to put something together that is at least going to give you some positive yardage. Trying to, as it is, you got to gain some quick yards here. Time you still have it, but again, this defense for Weslaco East has shown to stop it. We felt that a touchdown would be great to kind of have that 14-point lead, but now you have one of your linemen looks to be down. I mean, we're hoping it's nothing too bad. Sometimes it's just cramps. We said this is around the time when you start picking up cramps,
right.
At least as we're hoping for, something like that, sometimes you just don't hydrate enough. And it's kind of a weird night. I mean, kind of a weird afternoon as well. It rained a little bit here in the morning in Weslaco.
So the humidity's high.
So and it doesn't necessarily feel hot, but it feels humid.
Right.
And so when you're hot, when you start drinking water, when it's humid, sometimes you might not. And so these cramps start coming in, and that's when you start feeling that. But again, we're hoping that that's just the case. Sometimes, this is an offensive lineman who's been, pushing and pulling and trying to get things open.
And also been pushed and pulled.
Yes, that's exactly it. And that is Juan Sala's right guard for the Raiders. It's a good sign that he's at least trying to walk on it. He's got some tape around the ankles, and that kind of helps. But sometimes it just depends on what could be. We don't want to speculate on any type of injury, but at least he's walking off, and it's good to see where at least you can move out of the area and just start again. You never want to see anybody hurt, especially this late in the game. They've been playing so hard for such a long time now.
Mm-hmm.
But they're going to have to find a offensive lineman, a right guard, as we mentioned, to kind of come in and fill in. Now, imagine that. You're an offensive lineman, and you're coming in here to fill in now, and you've been basically on the sideline all game. Now you got to come in here, warm up and get hit by guys that have been running full speed all night. You know what I mean? So that becomes an issue. Keep an eye on the right guard. You might have to help him out for a little while.
I'm trying to get his number. I can't see him yet.
We'll see what happens here.
Well, they are going to go with Cuellar in at quarterback, and he's going to hand the ball off to Gonzalez right away. And he's just going to move forward and pick up a few yards. But you're talking about the person that's going to be playing right guard. It's Adolfo Guevara.
So Mr. Guevara comes in here and says, hey, by the way, we're going to run your way. He says, come in and block somebody. We're going to have our running back right behind you. So open the way up, my friend. Well, it's one of those things, right? You come in, you just never know. You're expecting your name to be called. You don't want it to be called at this time, but it happens. We'll see how this young man goes. But you just feel for him, right? I mean, you just kind of come in here and supposed to block somebody.
3rd down and 14, or 13 better yet, for the Raiders. Empty backfield for the quarterback, Rodriguez. He looks to his left. No, it's not Rodriguez, the quarterback. It's a freshman. Ball is in the air, touched by about 3 different people.
Yeah.
One of them being Alejandro Garza, initially touched by, I want to say, the backup quarterback, Arturo Cuellar.
Yeah.
So a lot of people putting their hands on the football, and almost finally picked up by Ram Carrera.
Yeah, he would look like he was the intended receiver at one point. The ball jumped all over the place. Watch this. Look at the ball hit a couple of hands. It's going to drop here.
Goes to Cuellar.
1.
And then Garza.
And then the Wildcats had a chance at it.
Yeah. So 4th down, they'll send in the punt team. Cuellar is going to be back. I'm sorry, not Cuellar. Carrera is going to be back at about his own 48-yard line. Punter gets away a good punt.
Yeah, look at that.
Fair catch called and made by Carrera at the 41-yard line. But he really got a foot into that one.
Yeah, he sure did. And sometimes that's he had time. The Wildcats did not bring any pressure, so that kind of gave the punter an opportunity to really step into it, take his steps, and then get it out. So now, Joe, I mean, with 5:34 left to go, a good drive, another good time-consuming drive would just about do it, huh?
Yeah, the Wildcats are notorious for that. You know, one of the things that we always talk about on the air is just Wildcat football, and that's just ground and pound.
Yeah.
And, you know, we saw it last drive that they were able to move the ball, you know, all because this front line just begins to push people around. And it's going to be a power eye right for the Wildcats. And they're going to play action and get the ball out into the hands of Burnias, a guy we haven't called much today, and he's still on his feet. And a big gain for him all the way down to the 32-yard line.
Yeah, reward
about
him.
a 28-yard run and catch for him.
He's been doing a good job blocking. Why not throw the ball once or twice? And there you go. Hey, you've been working really hard to be able to open up some lanes for our running backs. Now we're going to give you a little something. Nice catch and run by Burnias.
So 1st and 10, 32-yard line again. Power eye left this time. Timeout called by the Wildcats with 5:26 to go here in the ball game. Wildcats up 14-0.
Timeout.
Might as well. Can't take him home.
That's the first time.
Can't use him next week or later tonight for that matter anywhere else in town. I'm talking about timeouts. Might as well use him, especially if you feel that maybe you can try to get another score here. Remember, you know, you play till it's over. 5:26 left, 14-0. If you're Weslaco, you're thinking, yes, we want to run the ball, so let's do that. And I'm sure that's Coach Burgett's message. No penalties, nothing like that. Stay away from that. You know, if movement comes, well, it comes, but try to stay away from it as much as possible. Let's just run our offense. And if we could get into scoring position, whether it be a field goal or touchdown, you go for it. Make it a 3-point or a three-score
possession game.
Three-score game, yeah.
It'll be power eye left, just as they left off last time. One receiver to the top of your screen. Burnias on a little crossover, still on his feet, breaking tackles and picking up 9, maybe 10 yards. You know, we hadn't called his name out much tonight, and he's got 2 plays, and in those 2 plays alone, he's got about 30 yards. 30 yards.
Gotta be ready when your number's called. You've been all night doing the dirty work of blocking and opening lanes up for your running back. And so now it's time for you to be congratulated and given an opportunity here, and he's going to take it. Very talented runner.
Close to 40 yards in 2 plays for Burnias. Yeah. So 2nd and 2, I'm sorry. He picked up 8. They're going to give it to Rodriguez. Rodriguez hit behind the line of scrimmage and is only going to pick up a yard. But, you know, he could have lost another yard or 2, but he was able to just really fight his way forward and pick up 1.
Yeah, nice strength shown. And if you're a Wildcat fan, and we know you are, you know what Rodriguez can do. I mean, he's just that type of a runner. We've said that he's got the ability to see what's in front of him, and then he's patient enough to wait. But it's just hard to bring down a back who does not want to be brought down. It's one of those things here. Looking more fans in the stands here this evening. Big group for 2026 homecoming, huh?
It is. It is. Always love to see that. Again, power eye for the Wildcats. We're going to give it to the first guy through, and that is going to be Rodriguez again. And he's going to get inside the 20 to the 19, where it's going to be a fresh set of downs for your Wildcats.
So you start running the clock now, right? I mean, at this point, you don't necessarily need another score. I mean, you could if you wanted to. And you know, if that's presented itself, it's there. But you don't have to do it anymore. It looks like now you can really start concentrating on the clock and making sure that that's the case with the clock.
Yeah, we've already moved it to under 4 minutes, and it's moving as the Wildcats keep it on the ground and keep it in the field of play where it doesn't stop.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the key. Just kind of keep it inside the green.
And if you see they're making the play clock go all the way down, they're going to have to call a timeout. And Coach Burgett didn't like that.
Yeah,
timeout.
Oh, he doesn't have the chart. He has a clipboard tonight.
Second timeout of the second half.
He alternates, and he's telling them, like, here you come here. Very animated, you know, tonight. He was, you know, I always ask him, how are we feeling tonight? And you got to ask because it could change from afternoon to night. You know what I mean? And he says, you know, we're ready. I feel we're ready. And he felt that coming in that they had an opportunity. They were very happy with, even though the outcome of the score wasn't as, you know, what they wanted against Flower Bluff. But he felt good, the team. And he said, if there's such a good thing, if a loss can mean something positive. That might have been it, because we really were in it, and it made make a lot of sense to talk about it. And they talked about it, they dealt with it, and then they moved on. But the fact is now, for the Wildcats here, you see everybody kind of coming around. Coach Quet in the back. He said, "What are we doing, Coach? You want me to do? I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to push them around a little bit. Try to play some bully ball, right?" I see some teams now calling it bully ball when you want to run the ball and keep it away from them. They're calling it that. Well, Weslaco East has been doing it for years now, you know. They got pretty good at it, too.
Power eye right. Gonzalez under center. Toss to Herrera. Herrera fakes out a guy, still on his feet, and Herrera in the end zone, a good 19-yard run, and Herrera just showing off not only his moves, but his speed.
Again, set a different type of running back that you've seen from Burnias, from Rodriguez, and now you add this young man.
As he takes a toss, there's a guy that tries to come and make an open field tackle, and that is a guy that doesn't have his name on the roster.
Boy.
But that guy just grabbed air. Number 30.
They left some guys on it. Well, wait a minute. I might have it. I think it was a late edition. I'll give it to you afterward. That way Mom doesn't get mad. Watch out here. Ball is on the floor, on the turf. Yeah, we got to identify. Hayden Lopez, linebacker, senior, late edition here. That way, if Mom's listening, she doesn't get mad at us.
Well, she's probably now mad because we gave his name. She probably didn't want us to give his name. She's probably like, the anonymity's good here.
Can't do nothing right. My goodness, you're trying to, if you do great, if you don't great, it's just either way. But you know what the point was? It was a touchdown Wildcats.
Regardless, that's the important thing.
That was good to see Herrera, being out there and showing some speed. Not a lot of carries tonight, but it doesn't really matter because, if he's obviously been dealing with some stuff, and really at this time of the year, everybody's a little bit banged up.
Oh, yeah,
let's be
definitely,
honest.
for sure.
Everybody. So the fact that he can get too many carries, can take it easy on him and get him recouped. We're going to need him for the remainder of the season anyway.
Yeah. You speak of the remainder of the season,
they got Brownsville upset at us. Great.
we got to travel to Donna next week, take on Donna North.
Yeah, you got to need him.
Hernandez with the kick. It's deep, and it's going to be fielded at the 15-yard line by Garza. And Garza is hit quickly by number 35, a guy that we've called out his name quite a bit tonight, Derek Salinas.
He's just a player. I remember he's just a playmaker. I mean, he picked up. I remember the first game we actually did together was in Donna when he picked up a pass. Remember that was he the guy who picked up a pass? That was interception. I said, man, this kid, he's doing a good job, of getting things done here. And so, continues his good play.
20-0 Wildcats up. They missed the extra point as Fred alluded to, that the snap wasn't made well, and so they weren't able to get it on the ground. It's 3:17 to go in the ball game. They're going to throw in the quarterback onto the freshman, and he goes out to Garza, and that is almost picked off. He wants a flag for interference. But a good job there defensively, coming up and jumping the route with Santiago Flores.
Yeah, nice job. He was thinking pick six maybe. I don't know. Look at that. Oh, just the ball was behind him.
Ram Carrera, excuse me. I saw the 6 there. I thought it was a 1, but no, it is. Both of them have a 6 in their uniform.
Yeah, Ram had to go back. Had to go back for it across the shoulder on the other side. So it was a tough catch if we would have made it.
Yeah, but a good job by him out there defensively. So that'll stop the clock with 3:12, 2nd and 10 for the Raiders. This time they are going to run the ball, and this is Garcia, and Garcia doesn't have anywhere to go because this time it is 16, and that's Santiago Flores.
Yep. Comes up and makes a play. Tackling has been sound all game long. It looks like
injury timeout.
Another player might have gotten hurt here on the And again, it might be just another cramp, Joe. See that? You have your leg up in the air a little bit.
Grabbing that calf.
It reminds me of 3 o'clock in the morning in my house. Ow! Lifted up the leg, levántale la pierna. No, it hurts. It's one of those things. Give me some water. You should have drank it before you went to bed. You don't have. Well, that's enough of my problems. But you get the issue here. These guys come up. It's late in the game. You should tug in and pulling and pushing and doing all sorts of things, and then you just fall awkwardly. On that one, he just fell awkwardly and just pull. It just pulls your muscle. See that? And you're just struggling with it. Yeah, it looks very familiar, unfortunately. But we're obviously not making fun of things, but it's good to see that it's just something like that, something not serious, something that the coaches tell him, hey, go get some water, go sit next to the water machine and drink as much as possible. It's a 2:54 left here before the game. They've been out there for some time now. It's 9:42 local time already, and this game started at 7:30. So they've been out there for some time. They had halftime, but again, some of these guys, especially the offensive linemen, they don't feel they need the fluid intake, but they do. What do we have? 3rd and 14?
Third and 14.
Wow.
Play clock has already started as they've gotten the gentleman off the field, but I think coaches may call a timeout because they've been on the field for a while with the referee, and a lot of times they're just waiting for that play clock to go down, and then they'll call a timeout. But the thing is, if you let the play clock go down, you're also losing time on the game clock because that too is also ticking.
Yeah.
Because the play ended in the field of play. And so, therefore, that injury timeout doesn't stop the clock.
Yep.
Only during the time that he's out on the field. So now you got the timeout, and again, just like we were talking about right now, you're waiting to call the timeout, but you let 30 seconds go off.
It's been that type of a game, right? Where things when they flow, they flow. When things cut up like that, boy, do they cut up. I mean, at this point, 2 minutes and 11 seconds left, and they start playing all sorts of this type of music now because everybody's in party mood. As you can see, the Wildcat fans, the cheerleaders now. Why are you so serious? Have some fun. There you go. There you go. Now you got it.
There you go. There you go.
Some of the people, I mean, if this doesn't get you going, you're not at a football game.
Now, let me just throw this in there. When they throw this song on at UTRGV football stadium, they go wild.
Really?
They do. This gets them going. Different crowd.
Every crowd, that's right.
So after the timeout, 3rd down and 14 for the Raiders. It's going to be Cantu in at quarterback, the freshman. They're going to send a gentleman in motion. Cantu rolling out to his left. Gets rid of the football into the hands of Rodriguez. Trying to stutter step out there, but there's just a lot of black jerseys flying to that football. And the first one out there is number 16, Santiago Flores.
Yeah, Flores came up, a nice tackle.
We have the 2-minute timeout.
That'll be the 2-minute timeout. But yeah, you see it here, coming up. That you're trying to make people miss. I get it, but sometimes it's just tough to do. When you're out there, 2-minute timeout. It's time to party now, huh?
That's right. It's a homecoming night, a big win, as you mentioned, Fred.
3-1. That sounds good.
It sounds really good. One of the things that you wanted to see the Wildcats, as we talked about early on in this football game, is bounce back from last week because as you mentioned a little while ago when you talked to Burgett, there were a lot of things that you can take home positively because, again, that first half, man, they played really well. They were able to stop Flower Bluff on a few occasions. They were able to move the ball. They were able to put the ball in the end zone. And in that third quarter, just a couple of miscues. They were driving the ball on that first possession when they fumbled. I'm sorry, the pick six. And then, was it the fumble and then the pick six?
That was a fumble. Yes, you're right.
Yeah. So anyway, the Hornets were able to capitalize on some miscues. But other than that, the Wildcats played really, really good football. So once you clean up those mistakes, you end up playing a game like this.
Yes.
You know, and really dominating, as you've mentioned a few times defensively. They have not allowed Rivera into the end zone.
Not at all. As a matter of fact, very limited on their side of the field for the majority, if not most of the game. That's how dominant this defense for the Wildcats has been here this evening.
Yeah,
and
we
I'm sure
saw,
they're going to talk about it.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
we saw in the second quarter and a little bit in the third quarter where Rivera did move the ball, but again, it was the penalties that kept him out. Carrera going to field this one at the 36, and he's going to fall down. And once you're on the ground, that's a dead ball.
Yeah.
So he did a good job catching it, but just lost his footing. So it'll be 1st and 10 Wildcats at the 38-yard line with 1:48 to go.
I'm just impressed when the ball is that high and you can come under it and catch it. That in itself is a special gift. I cannot even see the ball. Are you kidding? Even less catch it. But as we mentioned, big win for the Wildcats. Party time. Look at that. The party lights are going as strong as they can, and everybody's having a good time. Friday night football, man. It's one of a kind here when the Wildcats play.
Power eye right, Gonzalez under center. Hands the ball off. It's going to be a different running back, and it's going to be a new set of people with getting a chance to play today, and that's going to be Elijah Lopez. But there's a flag.
Yeah, let's call some of these guys, especially those offensive linemen. We got to give them credit. I know some of those guys have come in. Jacob Zuniga's in there, obviously, but we'll see here what the official word is.
Personal foul. Unnecessary roughness, number 9 on defense. Late hit. 15 yards will be added to the run. 15. First down.
Yeah, there you go. Sometimes you just take a step too late. Maybe we'll see it here. Nice running there. We're talking about the new running back, Lopez, coming up, making a play. So we'll try to identify as much of these new players that have come up here, and we can get as many as we can. I know that they work hard just as everybody else does. They might just take a knee.
Yeah, they're now in victory formation.
All right, so that's going to be
because they're under less than a minute and a half, and so you really just have to run 3 plays. And so they got one down, and so with under a minute 20, this next one doesn't have to be run to about the 42nd mark.
Alonso Silvas, number 13, is out there as well, participating. We mentioned him. You know, you have your usual suspects that you have on offense, especially the offensive line. Looks like everybody that started is still out there, but you have some other guys that have come in on the special V formation.
Alonso Silvas, number 13.
Yeah, those are some of the guys that have come up here, and we'll mention them. They're obviously going to remember, hey, I played a couple of plays here during the 2026 homecoming game, which we won.
I think they're just going to turn off the play clock, and that's going to do it. As you mentioned, Fred, the Wildcats are going to improve to 3-1 in district play, traveling next Friday night to Donna to take on the Chiefs.
Interesting.
That's going to be a good game.
Yeah, I think so.
The Wildcats are coming off some pretty good play here and still keep their name in the hat and as they pursue that district title.
Yeah.
You know, PSJ North and Flower Bluff will play here pretty soon. Vets already has 1 loss.
Yeah.
And so, you know, really only have those 2 teams with undefeated records is Flower Bluff and PSJ North.
Yeah. Should be fun. Should be a good game next week. I think Donna North is much improved. I think the coaches from Weslaco will tell you, yeah, they're a good team. So no doubt this is now a final. You see it on the in your screen there, 20-0 in favor of your Wildcats.
So that'll do it for us. We want to thank all the KWES crew for doing such a great job and doing all that they do so very well. Of course, all under the leadership of our director, Carlos Robledo. And speaking of Carlos, him and Mike will be on the postgame show in just a little bit, so don't go too far. Just kind of relax, and the postgame show will be on in just a bit. Once again, your Wildcats improved to 3-1. We travel to Donna to take on the North Chiefs next week. For Football Fred, I am Joe Aguilar saying good night from Bobby Lackey Stadium right here in Weslaco. Once again, your Wildcats are victorious. They defeat the Brownsville Lopez Raiders. The final in this one, your Weslaco Wildcats 20, the Raiders 0. We'll see you next week from Donna right here on KWES.